What's going on, kids? It's me, Pete. I'm here hanging out with you guys today. Welcome to CRoM 7. We're going to bring Phil on in a second. I just want to say hi to everybody, see how everybody's doing, see how you guys are feeling. Thank you for being here, guys. First thing you've noticed, if you've been here for CRoM before, is it's me, Pete. It's not Pops. Pops is really doing something way more important than CRoM. I know that sounds weird, something more important than CRoM, but Pops is actually at his son's wedding. I think today is the rehearsal dinner, but don't worry. Pops will make an appearance this weekend in a tuxedo. We're all excited for that. And I know one person that's super excited for that is the guest host, the co-host, the super extra host here for us. Oh, Phil, what's going on? You're muted, Phil. I'm sorry. Phil's not there yet. Phil's not here right now, folks. So we're going to bring Phil out. We have a lot of fun for you planned tonight. This is the pre-show. We're going to have a really amazing cosplay panel with 3, I know that's 6, but it's 3 super amazing cosplayers. Then after that, the homies are going to come in, and we're going to talk about a whole bunch of other stuff with a lot of cool artists that you definitely want to come in and check out on. Now, if you're an artist and you're out there and you missed the show and you're not going to be in the show, or for whatever reason you want to come on and hang out, shoot me a message. Maybe we can bring you in and have a lot of fun tonight, okay? Tonight's all about fun. Tonight's about all getting us ready for CRoM this weekend. It's going to be a good time, and I think we're going to start it off like this. We're going to bring on I'm just going to go with this one because she lives with me, so I don't want to get in trouble. And we will bring in Rizuki Cosplays, who also happens to be my sister. She also happens to be a dog.
I'm a dog.
So there she is. She's a dog, a pink-haired dog. Yay! Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Greetings.
How are you doing?
I'm sleepy.
Thank you for joining us for CRoM.
Thank you for having me. Very excited.
Okay, well, at least you're here. We appreciate it. It's going to be oodles of fun. Oodles and oodles of fun. Now, you are a cosplayer. Please tell everybody why you are a cosplayer and when did you start to become a cosplayer?
I'm a cosplayer because I hate myself. Jokes aside,
okay.
Jokes aside, I really enjoy a lot of different series, Star Wars, different anime, things like that, and a lot of the characters resonate with me. I started as a really mediocre artist and then moved on to fan fiction, and I love that very much, but I wanted to really express my passion for these characters in a different way, and that's kind of where cosplay came in. I love being able to take that creativity and that passion in a different way that kind of takes life that you can see beyond just words and really, really horrible images that no one should see because I can't draw. But I love it. So it's a lot of fun. I've been cosplaying officially since 2009, but I started doing it in 1998 technically. So it's been a bit.
So you're not a rookie, but no. and you definitely got some. You definitely got some stuff under your belt there. Some different cosplays and stuff. You've done a thing or two there, and now, was the transition from fan fiction to cosplay easier or harder?
Harder, because with fan fiction, it was kind of just it was me, myself, and I, and it was just writing. And I found that I did my best work at like 4 a.m, and I would hit like a spurt of just yes. And I would go and I would have like a 30,000 word thing done in a week. And it was just so much fun. But then transitioning to cosplay, I had to learn how to sew. I had to learn how to use a sewing machine. Learning patterns and everything. Every single thing is like learning how to write all over again every single time. I never know what I'm doing. But the result is so much fun because yes, you made it and everything, but you had to learn how to get it on your body and how to make it work. So I don't know, it's just as rewarding for me, but it's a lot more tricky and a lot more difficult.
And now we're showing some of your greatest hits. This is the most recent hit because it was Pokemon Day.
Yes, it was the anniversary of 28th, 22nd, I don't know. It was the anniversary of when Pokemon Red and Blue came out in the United States. And I had actually just purchased the battle uniform for Pokemon Sword and Shield when you're playing. So that's the Sword and Shield battle uniform when you're battling the other gym trainers. And my character in the game has glasses and pink hair. So I was just like, my time has come. And here she is with my very, very first Pokemon ever back in 1998, Bulbasaur.
Photographer was really good for this too. Really captured the moment.
It was a great, fantastic photographer. Like, wow. Like, really knew how to capture the love that Bulbasaur and I share.
It was a moment. Yes, it was me. Anyway, we're moving on. a little bit more the pride and a lot more of just different looks that you have going. Like you definitely transform.
Yeah.
Which is cool. You really dive into the characters a lot.
Yeah, it's fun. The funny part about that picture is all of that has been, it's all of those are from March, April, May, June, July, August, September. That's everything that I've done. That's everything that I've done through quarantine. And there is, what was that?
It's your Corona portfolio.
It's my Corona portfolio of pain. And there is a hashtag on Instagram, Cosplay Latinidad, and I did not start it. I can't remember the name of the cosplayer that did, but if you go to the hashtag Cosplay Latinidad, she will come up. And it is basically a way for cosplayers in the Hispanic community to come together because it is Hispanic Heritage Month until October 15th. Felicidades. So I wanted to showcase what I've been working on so far and have my 2 heritage flags back there because ya tú sabes.
It's important. It's important. It's important. Now we're gonna I'm gonna go to this one because then we're gonna make a quick transition. Gaming. Gaming's important.
Yes. Gaming. Oh my God, I love gaming so much.
Well, we have another guest with us, and she also has been known to game once or twice. And speaking of gaming, the incredible Annie Lee Cosplay is here with us in cosplay.
Yeah, casual.
Yay. Having fun. How are you, darling?
I'm good. I was, quickly fixing this before
you didn't have to be in cosplay.
Yeah, I wanted to.
Yeah, no, I figured. I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried. Now, obviously, we all know each other, but we're all local to the area, our area of Long Island here. But where did you start? What got you starting to cut? I'm going to ask you the same questions, and we're going to dive into other stuff. Well, what got you started?
So I actually started cosplay twice, which is super weird. The first time I was in high school, my friend had an extra Comic-Con ticket. I had no idea what cosplay was. I just really liked video games and I liked some comics. So she invited me and I said, oh, it looks like people dress up. So I went to Party City, grabbed a Spider-Man costume that was, it was a costume, and we ran. And then I gave that up for a little bit because I went to college and I just didn't have the time. And then a couple years into college, I did have the time. And I went away to New Jersey for a summer, started an internship, didn't know anyone. And I had a lot of trouble making friends. And I remembered the last time I felt like I belonged was at a Comic-Con. So I saw that there was one in Morristown. Shout out to Garden State Comic Fest. And I went out there and I met friends that I'm friends with now. And for that one, I made like a full costume for it too. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, we're gonna dive into that in about 3 seconds as soon as I can get the screen to load. So. Now, Rizuki too, I see her building and sewing and crying and screaming and building things in the car on the way to the con. And I know I've seen the videos. I've seen you doing building and stuff too. So we're going to start with this video. Because this is a build you made that's just super impressive.
Thank you.
You made that. That's really cool. Talk about this.
So fun fact, those wings I found the base for on Amazon. Ruby's actually makes them, which is a local costume manufacturer that works all over the country now. But they were like these mechanical wings, but they were white and kind of flimsy. So I took them, I painted them, I hot glued some fabric onto them to give it a little bit more structure and weight. But the paint, like I had to make myself because they didn't make that color. The headpiece I made out of a broken hanger. I put a Walmart bag on my head. I duct taped around it because I was trying to make a pattern for another costume. But I ended up just using it for that. Used a Walmart shopping bag with hot glue to give it more dimension, then covered it all with a costume satin.
And you also, because I've seen both of you do this, you're also a bit of a wig expert.
I love styling wigs. I got some costumes if I were home right now, I'd pull them all out. But I've gotten very into wig stacking lately. So I've been making these big bouffant wigs that add another foot of height onto me because I am small and I want to be big.
I'm going to go find the Elvira in a second because everybody needs to see that. But you were talking Spider-Man. Is it more boofy wigs? And wait, the full
yeah.
And Spidey.
Yeah, MJ.
So you did. Keep going. Go ahead.
Oh, so I was gonna say, another cosplayer in the community actually had sold me these, and they were really, really weirdly perfect for my body. Because with a lot of these suits, you have to be very careful on your sizing, because one like wrong measurement and the whole thing just is uncomfortable. But these were amazing. It was kind of my first like Spidey suit that had shoes built in, hands covering everything, and I felt very, very, very confident in it. And I can't wait till cons start again and there's less plague so I could show it off in person.
We're going wigs again.
Yeah, this one I didn't style, but they sent it to me to review, and how such a nice wig. I had no idea what to do with it though, so I put up a poll and asked people, and I got one of my favorite suggestions for it was Daphne from Scooby-Doo, which I didn't even think of.
That's not bad. Now,
yeah.
I'm going to scroll. Okay, there's one more I got to scroll because I absolutely adore your Maleficent.
Thank you.
I absolutely adore it. It's perfect. It really is. I don't like
Thank
using
you
that
so
word,
much.
but it's really perfect. And we have another Disney queen waiting for us in the wings who we're going to bring on in 2 seconds, but I need to find. I'm just going to scroll down past all these amazing things. Yes, we're going to get to all of these guys, but we had to get to this. That's at least 3 feet away. That's at least 3 feet a wig.
Yep.
For your Elvira.
And it's 3 pounds a wig too.
I'm not surprised at all, but it's phenomenal. Love it.
Thank
Love
you.
it to death. And speaking of phenomenal, speaking of big wigs, speaking of, because I've made mom wait long enough, ladies and gentlemen. There's someone right behind you, Liz. It's time for Tomcat.
Hello, darlings.
Hi.
How are we this evening?
Hi, Mother.
Hello, baby.
Tomcat is everyone's mom.
I love it. I literally, it's hysterical. There was a darling friend of mine who reached out to me saying that he wanted me to write a brief introduction of who I am. And there is nothing about me that's brief, except my underwear.
Fabulous. Now, the good news is, on this show, I don't want anything to be brief. Please elaborate. Elaborate, talk, feel free, get into it, because shit.
So one of my darling friends, Anamia, a very tiny cosplayer with nary a follower to her name, reached out to Comic Fest. Well, Comic Fest reached out to her, and Anamia, bless her loving heart, recommended me for a brief little interview about the cosplay community and what it's meant to me over the last, so many years I've been into it. And I sent them a novel of all of my accomplishments and what cosplay means to me, and it's really wonderful. But again, a novel. But the introduction was basically mother of all cosplayers, cosplay's golden girl, just introducing myself in such a way, like cosplayer of 10 plus years, professional competitor for 2, oh my God. Cosplay is wonderful, kids. Don't get into it.
Well,
just
I
do
love
yourself that favor.
I love that you said that. What got you? What hooked you? What was the gateway drug that got you into it?
Halloween.
Okay, I hear that a lot.
Halloween was the sort of gateway drug, I guess you can say, to cosplay. I started doing drag around. As a matter of fact, I actually shared this morning my first time actually in drag, and it was the night Tomcat was born, which was, I want to say, about 2006, 2007. And yeah, I started very, very much around that time. My first 2 big cosplays were Ursula and Cruella de Vil. Like, these are not tiny characters at all.
No, just insignificant characters, of course. Yeah.
Oh, the most insignificant characters.
Nothing at
all. And yeah, my first convention was 2010. Was real. So, a little bit of backstory. I had commissioned someone, paid them about $300, $400 for a Catwoman outfit. Paid in full, never received it. I was anticipating it for 2010. I never got it. So then in 2011 was when I like dove headfirst into things. 2011 was like Ursula, Cruella, Dr. Frankenfurter. It was the first time I brought my bullwhip someplace. I was thrilled. And yeah, it sort of blew up from there. From there, I like cosplayed as Poison Ivy, Black Canary, Harley Quinn, Catwoman.
As Tom name drops, I'm just going in.
Just so many fabulous characters that I've cosplayed as over the many years that I've been involved in this community.
We will get back to B. Arthur in a moment, but first,
how could we not?
We're saving B for later because that involves all of you, the Golden Girls conversation. But there's a little Ursula.
Yeah. Oh my God. Because of quarantine, I basically told myself that I needed to find something else to, occupy my creativity, because sewing is only doing so much. So I started delving into voiceover, and I never fully appreciated until recently just how much Ursula as a character means to me. Because Ursula was originally supposed to be voiced by B. Arthur. Ursula was based off of Divine, as well as Mae West and Gloria Swanson, and like a multitude of other like Hollywood starlets. Like really, Ursula was the foundation for me to grow out of and grow from. But yeah, I love and adore that. That's actually Ursula number 3. No, wow. Ursula number 4. That's Ursula number 4. The first Ursula costume I ever wore was in, oh my God, it was in like 2006 when my aunt made it out of a giant king-sized comforter.
That's fantastic.
It was really awful.
I can only imagine. Then we move on. That's the back of a black cat.
That is that is my fabulous fanny. When I started cosplaying, drag was sort of secondary because I wanted to be the male version of Jessica Negre. I can't really say that because I do identify as non-conforming. I use they them pronouns, which I've learned because of cosplay. I'm very grateful for it because of that. But when it comes to, gender bending, making like casually making sexy characters sexy for a body of my type and my stature.
I was about to say that this is a very casual cosplay.
Oh, incredibly. I did not buy that. A sugar daddy bought it for me.
There you go.
I love you.
Yeah, I love that sort of like easy to put on, easy to take off, much like my men. And I love it. I love doing that. Especially my favorite is when from the back, I look like a female from behind because I have that gorgeous, voluptuous booty.
Well, as we speak of that, we get into one of my favorites.
Oh, speaking of gorgeous and voluptuous.
And we're also going to, there's 2 reasons why I wanted to talk about this. And then you start, explain it, and then I'm going to go into why I wanted to talk about this.
Well, that is me as Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs evil queen. Handmade everything. That is 9 feet tall by 12 feet wide, black velvet and peach skin cape, with a 12-foot train of fur on the bottom. I actually want to redo the dress part of it because the dress part is just it's short. It's shorter than I want it to be. The crown actually I made a week before the convention. Because the crown that I had wasn't store-bought. I mean, it was store-bought. So I'm like, something, let's try. So I made it out of some leftover EVA foam that I had, and it worked. And
see,
I wear it constantly.
Queen.
Just queen.
We stand.
Now, we're going to do this. First and foremost, we're going to say hi to Phil. Phil's our co-host. He's the partner that we had doing this. Phil, everybody, you've met everybody except for maybe Annie Lee. That's Phil. Phil doesn't have a camera right now. Sorry, everybody. So that was the first thing I want to do. Phil was getting He was getting his snacks.
You're a funded
It is a
show.
camera.
My goodness, get this man a camera.
We are not a funded show.
I'm on camera.
Yeah.
That's me right there.
We are not a funded show, and we are not going to get into any of that. I'm funded, but the show isn't. That's a whole different story, and we'll talk about that later.
Give it time.
We'll talk about that later. Anyway, the reason why I ask is that picture, especially because it, Tom, I know you were in the. I don't know if you were invited to that show, but I know you were in the Masquerade, the contest at that show. That was C2E2 a couple years ago.
That was C2E2 this year.
Oh, this year, okay. C2E2 this year was a blur for me because I was getting murdered at my table. So
I'm sure you're a very popular person.
I saw you for like 2 seconds. You were running one way, and I was getting like little kids getting Pokemon for me on the other side. So it was.
I get it. You rule those kids with an iron whip.
I just have Pokemon and I take their parents' money. That's all I do.
There you go. That's the ticket. That's ticket right
all
there.
I do. But we wanted to get into with everyone, all our cosplayers here. And Phil, I know you've been to the show, so anything you can stick in, please. Was that a goal to be like, okay, I want to be invited to do competitions, or I want to do competitions, or was it like, holy shit, they called me to come do a competition? And we're going to start with Tom, and then we're going to go around the circle.
So when it comes to competing in cosplay, it's cutthroat. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's very, very challenging. You're constantly like trying to put your best work. You're trying to put your best work out there. And basically what ends up happening is you have to fill out, depending on the convention, because there are some conventions where you can sign up at the con. But with like Reed Pop shows or Fan Expo or like Dragon Con, you have to like fill out a form with the credentials that you did when it comes to making the outfit. You need reference pictures, you need progress photos, you need detailed instructions on how you crafted the beast. And then, if they like it enough, they will say congratulate, and it's a process. One thing I want to it's a bit of a secret, but the judges that judge you at the convention for the show are not the same judges that will judge you to get into the show. So you need to like wow them twice.
Okay.
It's certainly a lot. I've competed in 3 Reed Pop shows. I competed in C2E2 in 2018, New York Comic Con New York Comic Con in 2018, and where the hell am I? Where am I?
I have no idea.
I'm so sorry. Let me backtrack. So I competed. The first time I competed was in C2E2 in 2019. Then in 2019 in the fall, I competed for New York Comic Con, which is another Reed Pop show. And then this year I competed in C2E2. So it was the Wicked Witch of the West, then Winifred Sanderson, then the Evil Queen.
Nice.
Positive or negative for you?
They were all pretty positive for me. Like once you're backstage and like, I'm an actor, darling. As soon as I'm on the stage, I own it. I will say this: when I did the Wicked Witch of the West, I was a little nervous because it was like my first time doing it. But like as soon as I was out there and I just heard the cheering, I was like, oh, this is home. This right here is this is a warm hug.
Oh, look, a spotlight.
Oh, look, a spotlight. How silly of me not to have been in it.
Now, Annie, I've seen you do some contests and some. I remember your Poison Ivy was a monster hit. It was I'd see if we can find that too. It was a monster hit. Talk to me about you and your experiences with contests and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I honestly prefer to be on the judgment side more than I like competing. Though I am a very competitive person, I don't make a lot. I tend to be more of a thrifty cosplayer, so I take and repurpose and find a new way to use something. Sustainable cosplay is great.
We stand.
But just like this all thrifted. But yeah, I love the spotlight. No, hey. I definitely love the spotlight and I love attention.
First cosplay I saw of yours.
Really?
I think it is.
I think so, because I think I remember fangirling over you while I was in it.
I was fangirling over you because I was just like, Queen, I don't know what to do. Who are you? Talk to me.
If you want to hear the best part about that costume, so I made that in my apartment in college, and my entire floor was covered in glitter for the rest of the duration of our lease.
We stand. We stand a glitter queen.
Oh yeah, I said, I don't know if this looks as good as I want it to. Time to put glitter on it.
I've said that plenty of times myself, and I don't cosplay, so I understand. I'm trying to see if I could find, because you said the first I know where it is. I saw the photo of the first cosplay I saw you in.
Oh, memories.
Cool.
Oh, this is another thrifty cosplay. But fun fact, I made that bat. Yeah, that was my bunny Negan. I used some nice upholstery foam, duct taped it to get the shape I want around a rectangle of cardboard, and then from there I covered it up with brown spandex that I had in my massive stash, and then hot glued it, took some silver yarn, and then put little knots to make the barbed wire. But yeah, everything else I thrifted, and then the bodysuit I got from Spirit of Halloween. But that was weirdly one of my most favorite costumes that I really should just revisit. But
it looks comfy.
It's so comfortable.
Really does. I mean, I even would feel comfortable in it, and I'm, large.
I mean, a costume with a jacket in New York Comic Con.
Yeah, seriously, I understand. Now
tomorrow's show.
Pockets.
Now you said
not emphasize enough pockets.
Phil, what happened, brother?
No, I said, is that for tomorrow's show? You're gonna get comfy with that?
No.
We got enough time to put it together.
I know we're streaming for 8 hours tomorrow. I'm barely wearing pants tomorrow. So
I mean, that's barely bottom.
That's just how that's gonna go.
It's for the OnlyFans. It's for
I'm saving that for my OnlyFans. That's
$10. Subscribe.
I'm running a special this month. It's going to be fantastic. Now, Andy talked about judging and stuff like that. And because I've worked at a lot of shows and I've done a lot of shows, and I've worked, like I said, Rizuki's my sister, so I've spoken with her and I've seen her meticulously plan because she judges. She's done some contests. Now I'm going to be the bragging big brother. She did win the Masquerade at Anime NYC last year.
After deciding it was a good idea to strip in front of all of Anime NYC, I got
my daughter who said that.
Performance.
My daughter who said that.
She is an award-winning show dog, and she won for her cause because she's a dog right now. But I don't want to say you're a tough dog. Sorry. I don't want to say that you're a tough judge, but there's a reason why I call you Little Yaya.
This I gotta hear.
Well, and then take it away. Discuss. I love the way you prepare, and you prepare for cons, but you prepare for judging cosplay contests. Talk to me about what's in your head about that and what you want to see.
It's a mess because the Masquerade I did at Anime NYC was actually my very first Masquerade, and I walked into it like, well, I've been judging cosplay contests since 2017, I think. And so I'm like, I have an idea. No, I don't. I know nothing. But it was a completely different ballgame, which I'll talk about later. But when it comes to judging stuff out here, for me, what's important is every single convention or event or little gathering, expo, whatever it is, everyone's doing their best foot forward in different ways. Whether they bought the costume or they made the costume or they thrifted the costume or they closet cosplayed the costume, or they commissioned it, or they did all of the above. Somehow that costume got on their body. Now, when it comes to judging, every con does it differently. Like bigger conventions like New York Comic Con, Anime Expo, San Diego Comic Con, Otakon will have criteria that you have to make it yourself. Usually a certain percentage. I think the
70%.
70, 75, or
75 and sometimes even 80 or 90%. There are even some conventions that are like 100% needs to be made.
I've seen Rizuki at a library con ask a little girl to flip her seams. So I'm just saying.
I did not do that.
But, I've done that, however.
Yes, you have. I saw it.
Yes, you have.
I have seen that. I have done that. I have flipped the seams.
So every single convention does it different. Some of them will just be like, oh, you're judging them all across the board. And it's difficult to do that because if Jim Bob got his from Spirit Halloween, power to him. But then if Janet got hers by making it 100% by hand, and then Bubba got his from the closet and et cetera, each one of them just did it differently. So you can't judge them across the board because that's not fair to any of them.
And yes, she has judged at Alabama Comic-Con, obviously.
Listen, Jim Bob and Bubba are my go-to names for all my examples.
Fair.
Anyway, but so whenever I'm putting together a cosplay contest for a convention, or when a showrunner comes to me and is basically like, here, make it happen, I try very hard to across the board make it fair for everyone, have different categories for the judges so it's easy for them to be able to give points to each one accordingly. If somebody handmade theirs, would they get like bonus points or something potentially, depending on the situation? It's super important for me to be fair because not everyone has a lot of money, and some people don't have the talent or don't have the confidence to even attempt it. So you need to be fair to everybody because cosplay is cosplay. No matter how it got on their body, it's cosplay. Like I don't want to hear, oh, you didn't make it, so it's not. Can we curse?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Great. Shut the fuck up.
Those were the old rules. The new rules are say what's on your fucking mind.
Great. So I hate people that are just like, oh, you didn't make it. That's not. Shut your fucking mouth. No one cares about you. It's on your body. It's a costume you're cosplaying.
She's my sister. Can you tell?
So it's important for me that every single cosplayer that feels empowered enough to go on stage, and no matter how scared they are, I want them to feel proud and I want them to keep going in whatever direction that is for them. So that's how I approach cosplay contests as a judge, or as not the judge, or as somebody that's putting the cosplay contest together, picking the judges, putting the rules together. That's how I always envision it. I talk with my hands, I'm sorry. So I just want to be fair. Because for me, I've only entered 2 contests in my entire life. One at ImmortalCon 2016. I didn't know what I was doing, and I got a judge's award for that. And I was like, yay. And then Anime NYC in November. And for me, I felt both were fair. I was treated very well by the judges on both. The one for ImmortalCon, they judged us there. So like you had to do pre-judging. So I think it was like 2 o'clock or something. You had to go. They would look at your seams. They would talk to you, blah, blah, blah. And then the actual cosplay contest, they kind of basically knew who was going to win already at that point. But it was very fair. And I liked the way they did it. It was a nice kind of intro to that. And then I skipped a bunch of years until last year. And like Tomcat said, they wanted a book showcasing, okay, what was your progress? How did you go about it? Like, show us everything. But even before that, they had to decide, are you even going to be in the cosplay contest? So the first thing was, like Tomcat said, wowing the first set of judges to decide if you're even going to be in the contest. Once they were like, yes, you're going to be in it, they had a set of criteria for what they wanted to see. Because I was doing performance, they wanted to see like clips of me rehearsing, which anyway, and stuff like that. And Tomcat has their hand raised.
I do. I have something very important to say. I want to clarify there is a big difference between masquerades and cosplay contests.
Oh, absolutely. It's completely different.
They are completely different animals.
Yes.
You may be very good at one and not so great at the other, or you probably are great at both. Like me. It's definitely one of those things where it's one or the other. Whereas with Masquerade, there's a performance, there's a skit, there's so you're not only judged on craftsmanship, you're judged on performance. Whereas with the cosplay contests, you're judged solely on craftability and the work that went into the outfit that you are wearing.
Exactly. That's why when I went in November, when I said before that I was just like, no, I had no idea. I had no idea. All I ever did was cosplay contests. All I ever did was like judging for cosplay contests or putting together a cosplay contest. But for local events, I had never done a big event masquerade. And that's very important to have that difference in mind. Like we were saying before, those bigger shows, Otakon, Anime NYC, New York Comic Con, C2E2, they will have some sort of masquerade where the rules are very specific. They have to decide if you're going to be in it and then after that, then you're judged that second time. But some of those masquerades also, they don't call them masquerades all the time, but it's just, some of them will, and I'm coming too. I don't want to just be the only one talking, so I'm going to try to wrap this up.
Well, I'm raising my hand. I don't want to be rude.
No, it's just, I have a lot of thoughts because as somebody that like judged it, as somebody that puts them together, and as somebody that's competed, it's a lot, and I don't know how to condense, so I'm just going to pass it over to Tom.
No. What Rizuki
that's why I
is
have
saying
this.
is what Rizuki is saying is 100% correct. They are very different factions. They are very different. C2E2 this past year did the Masquerade for the first time. It was the first Masquerade for C2E2. And some of the people I don't think were prepared for it because they had to, walk on stage, do a little dance, make a little love, and then get down tonight.
Damn straight.
And then they walked on stage. There were some people that had skits readily prepared, like yours truly.
Of course.
No, let me tell you something. I went hard with the C2E2 Masquerade because that was Sailor Dorothy, and I sang The Man in the Moon and His Lady. As a matter of fact, I shared it to the Cat and Kristen's YouTube.
Dude, not to interrupt or be a proud big brother, but dog up there,
yes, please be proud of her.
The dog up there took her clothes off in front of all of New York City.
She did that. The dog.
I thought it was a good idea at the time.
I did too. I didn't win anything though.
You did it for the love of the game, Annie. You did it for the love of the game.
That's right.
She was trying to win shit.
That's honestly one of the reasons why I love cosplay so much. It's because you do it because you love it. You do it because you love it.
Look,
that's actually
that character is naked for no damn good reason, and I love the shit out of her. And if she decides that she's like, I want to be in a suit, I want to be naked in leather, then so be it.
That's the next question I have, and I want to hear from all of you. We're going to start with Annie, though. Your friends are there. You're all geeky friends, and you're going to go to a con, and everybody decides to dress up. Now, in every group of friends, there's the extra one who spent hours and hours building everything and is still putting together in the car and stuff like that. I'm looking at Rizuki, and then there's the regular fans and stuff, and then there's one guy who's not really cosplaying, but he's got the shirt and he wants to go meet some comic book guys, whatever. And then there's the one friend who's like, is the geek, is the nerd, but really didn't have time and went to Party City and got a costume, but is still dressed up as Spider-Man. It's just a Party City costume. Is it all cosplay?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Because cosplay to me, it's costume play. If you're in costume and you're playing around, it's cosplay. Like, I know that there's a lot of people that love the craftsmanship. For me, like, I just love kind of the illusion, I guess is the best way to put it, of like, oh, I look like this ridiculously proportioned character from a comic book or a video game or anything else. But if you're in a costume, it's cosplay. Point blank, period, end of story, that's it.
That was it. Well done. And we will go to Rizuki. And back to Lindsay. Yay! Back to Rizuki. Yay! No, we're not going to her. Tom, how are you?
Oh, God in heaven, the height of professionalism.
I'm eating.
Who's a professional here now?
I wanted chips. Go ahead, Mother Tomcat.
I'm doing the same thing, Azuki.
So
yeah.
I muted myself.
For the first time, my goodness.
It's something special.
My God, it should be commemorated.
This will be saved on the YouTube page.
So good. Just bless, I say. In terms of what makes a cosplayer, I am always of the mind that if you put on the costume, you are the player. It's the same thing as drag. If you have the courage enough to put on the heels, put on the wig, put on the makeup, put on the dress, you're a drag queen, baby. If you have the ability to put on a costume, regardless of whether it's from Party City, Spirit Halloween, you made it. You're a cosplayer. You're a wizard, Harry. You're a cosplayer, Harry. Whatever. But that's how I feel on the subject. Now, when it comes to professional cosplayers,
well, I think that's good. I'm glad. Please elaborate.
That is another story entirely. To be a professional cosplayer, you need to have a gimmick. There needs to be some type of gimmick. You could be the world's greatest craftsman. You could be, and I'm talking like Talk Customs. I'm talking Beverly Downin. I'm talking the Egg Sisters, Lucky Grimm, Canvas Cosplay. I'm talking like big names. They are people that have made a name for themselves, doing the professional cosplay, which consists mostly of, being not only a brilliant craftsman, but also a fantastic personality that can offer more than just a Spirit Halloween costume. Now, what I will never judge a person for going to a convention in Spirit Halloween garb. But if you want to be at that level, there's going to need to be some more than just the Spirit Halloween. Call me a purist, call me an elitist. But that's how I feel on the subject, and I'm sure that there are others that feel similarly.
There you go. Now, is Din Din time over?
Yes, it is.
What do you think about all this?
Pringles, if you want to sponsor me, that's totally, I'm okay with it. Anyway.
And funnies.
So for me, it's like I said before, when it comes to the judging, I think if there's a costume on your body, regardless of how it got on your body, you're cosplaying. Because like Annie Lee said before, the whole point of cosplay is 2 words put together. Costume, play, cosplay. They made a baby, it's called cosplay. And you're welcome. And it really doesn't matter where that costume came from. Like, this is a Kigu. I'm a dog. I'm not doing anything. I'm just a dog. It's fine. But like, there are costumes of mine right now that I bought. There are costumes of mine that I made. There are costumes of mine that I've had commissioned. Every single one of them is a costume, cosplay. Every single one of them still makes me a cosplayer. The difference is whether I'm just a cosplayer that's just wearing it, or a cosplayer that's also a seamstress, or whatever you want to go about it, or whatever other labels you want to add to yourself. But regardless, the foundation is everyone still has a label of cosplayer, because that's what you are, regardless of how you got it. In terms of professional cosplay, I agree with Tomcat, because that's like a whole different boat at that point. You might have like, sponsorships and stuff, where people that make the cosplay will want you to wear it and try it on and do a review, and that's different. As I knock over my chips, that's different. But for me, it's weird. I don't consider myself a professional cosplayer, but at the same time, I slightly do, but not on the sense of the cosplay side of it, on the sense of the behind the scenes. Just because I work with so many conventions behind the scenes, so many events and things like that. So in that sense, sure. In the sense of what I'm wearing, I don't consider that, because of what Tomcat said. Like, I do a mix of everything. And yeah, I call myself the potato, or I'm just the dog, the dog eating chips on live TV.
That's your brand.
But
that is your brand, my dear.
I don't know. It's weird when it comes to branding, and I don't know, maybe we'll lean down that path. When it comes to branding, I find it hard to brand myself, because at the end of the day, I'm just like Potato Chan. I wear Sailor Moon all the time. But that's my brand.
Potato Chan can very easily be. If my brand can be B. Arthur and Disney villains, your brand can be Potato Chan.
Tom, your brand is Mom.
Correct. Exactly.
Mom.
I think I know what my brand is.
Your brand is breasts. Your brand is breasts.
That was just timing. I'm sorry. I don't know how that. I'm just gonna slowly back away. We'll do that and just keep it. Now, I got a question about professional cosplayers. I remember years ago that horrid show was on Sci-Fi Channel. And
there were 2. Which one?
Not the contest. Not the contest. There were 2. Not
okay,
the
I know.
There was a contest one where they were like building each week, and it was kind of
that was Cosplay
kind of
Melee, right?
That was kind of fun to watch, because it was like a contest. It was like one of the Food Network baking shows, so it was kind of cool because cupcakes. But go.
I was gonna say I kind of like that show only because my parents, well, at least my dad, never understood cosplay. My mom didn't understand it, but she's like, "You seem happy, so go ahead." But that show came on, and both my parents were watching it when I wasn't home. I come back, my mom goes, "Well, look, they do what you do," and I looked. I was like, "I mean, yeah, but also no, but I like it."
I'll take it.
Yeah, but it was a great intro for people who don't know cosplay.
I liked Cosplay Melee a lot. I think the bad intro was the other one, where it was just drama and it was like
Heroes of Cosplay.
Yeah, that was the. I mean, there was the team, the two ladies. I forget where they were from that were building stuff. And they did the thing for Guillermo del Toro. I thought that was pretty interesting. But there was a lot of and a lot of things said. And I want to hear what you guys think of the difference between you guys. Because you guys are pretty known. You know, definitely known, especially in the New York area. I think the three of you are very well known. But at the same time, I want you you think of, yeah, this one, that one, that one. Where, do you guys look up to them? Yes, no, maybe, kind of, sort of? Or, oh my God, they're elite or whatever? How does it work? And that sounds like it's going to be Annie first.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, when I first started, Jessica Negri was, one of my idols. But I found that as I got more into cosplay, I was comparing myself a little too much to other cosplayers. So what I've started doing is just admire everyone, which sounds super lame and fake, but I swear I do. But it's something that I think what separates, cosplayers, like Tom, Rizuki, myself, plenty of others from the Meg Turneys, Jessica Negris, people within that echelon is more luck. And that is not to discredit any talent that they do have, but it's more so the thank you.
Thank you.
And I get nothing. I see how it is.
But yeah, it's not to discredit any talent because they are incredibly talented, but also it's a luck of the draw. I believe Jessica Negri got huge because a picture of her was posted to Facebook and her badge had her name on it.
I think that's how it went down.
Yeah, the Pikachu.
I think that's how it went down, but that's luck, She happened to get people's attention, happened to have her name out, and it just blew up.
Lightning struck, and I don't know if that was the only thing she had out, but still.
Yeah, it was very towards the beginning. I remember it was her Pikachu,
really,
I think.
Pikachu is really early.
Yeah.
But I will, and I've had this conversation with Rizuki, talking about Negri and stuff like that. I still follow her. I love when she builds armor. I think she's a goober and she's funny, and she plays more games than I ever will. And a lot of people don't see that, but that's just my opinion. That's just me. I think she's definitely a huge goober, just like the rest of us, except for maybe Tom.
No, I think it's hard to fake being a weenie or nerd. It's hard to fake it. You can't. If you're faking it, people could tell immediately.
Absolutely.
That you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're referencing. But that's why it's important to, if you're gonna cosplay. I cosplay based on character design. If I really like a character's design, I'll go for it and I'll watch whatever it is. I'll play whatever it is. What do you all think of Levins, the Family Guy cosplayer for Peter Griffin? Oh wait, are you talking about Rob?
Real life Peter Griffin?
Real life Peter
If
Griffin?
we're talking about Rob, I think we can all agree that he is one of the best people.
He's the best.
He is one of the humble. What a humble human being he is.
I adore real life Peter Griffin. I adore him. He is the nicest guy. Really quick, and then we're going back to Annie. I'm sorry. I forget what Star Wars movie it was. I got into the theater where both were on Long Island. I was in the back, and then I hear the voice just talking regularly the way we are now, and I'm like, is that Peter Griffin? I was like, hey, Griffin. So I yell down because I'm so shy. Hey, Griffin, shut up. And he looks right back up and goes, that guy. Because he knows who that guy is. And we had and again, sweetest guy in the world. Introduced me to all his friends. Had a great, sweetest guy I've ever met.
Salt of the earth human being. He is.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Annie. I had to throw that in there because.
If that's okay, I'm happy to fangirl over real life Peter Griffin at any time.
Fair.
But yeah, I lost my train of thought on that one.
You were running on. Wow, we all.
What was I on about?
Like Jessica Negri and Yaya Han and everything, and like doing all that.
I'm glad.
Well, also I think in terms of who I would look up to most right now would be Yaya Han, just because she, from a business perspective, wow, what she's done to go from cosplay now to manufacturing her own fabrics, her own cosplay materials, foam. It's just really, really awesome to see the progression from a business standpoint of she could retire from cosplay and she's still making money off of cosplay. That's insane to me.
And it's unfortunately a lightning in a bottle situation. I this is going to be a shameless plug. Canvas Cosplay had released 3 books on basically how to, get from a business sense in terms of cosplay. There was Cosplay and Marketing, Volume 1. There was Cosplay Partnerships, which was the 3rd volume in his series. And then there was the 2nd one that is escaping me at the moment. But I have all 3 of them, and they're wonderful guides. They're guides to become successful, I guess you could say, in terms of cosplay, like creating your own rider, creating your own media kit, creating your own, basically figuring out how to sell yourself accordingly and appropriately. There's what happened?
Nothing. I'm selling myself and OnlyFans coming soon.
Street corners are desperate, aren't they?
OnlyFans coming soon. That's all I'm saying.
I'll remember to subscribe.
You get the first month free, darling.
Good. I'm thrilled. But yeah,
you should be scared.
What I recommend is just that if you want to be a successful cosplayer, if you want to become a professional cosplayer, pay attention to the people that have come before you. In terms of looking up to people, everybody looks up to me, darling, because I'm so damn tall.
Wow.
But besides that, that was incredibly vain, and I loved every second of it. I have no idols. There are people that I appreciate. Most certainly, there are people that I appreciate for their craft. And again, I'll mention them, like Olivia Smallivia. She's another fabulous cosplayer. Yes, there's the Yaya Hans, the Jessica Negris, there's only a select few men. SKS Props comes to mind. Locally, there's Tim Tanko, who's doing his own thing with foam, another fabulous individual.
I have a roll of his foam. I have his roll of his foam behind me, and I can't wait to play around with it and make some masks and some other like hand things. And I can't because it's ridiculously good quality.
It's what you want to do. It's what you want to make of it. For me personally, I very much think of myself as a personality more than I do as a crafter. Don't get me wrong, some of the costumes that I made are exquisite. But I definitely feel more inclined to, converse with cosplayers and talk to cosplayers rather than create something. It's again, it really comes down to what you want to get out of cosplay. If you want cosplay to be a career, treat it like one. If you want cosplay to be just a hobby, treat it like one. You will find your own way the longer you're involved in the community. Now, mind you, I've been in the cosplay community for a very long time, and it took me a couple of years to figure it out. But I've strived to be a good personality and to be the type that people can reach out to when they're in need, people can talk to, people can share their troubles with. That's been my brand for ever. And it really depends on how you want to market yourself. If you want to market yourself as Potato Chan, if you want to market yourself as a thrifty cosplayer, if you want to market yourself as a personality, you can most certainly do that. It just takes time, patience, and of course, knowing the right people. I cannot stress this enough. Don't be afraid to reach out to cosplayers who have a sizable following. Don't be afraid to reach out to them. If they don't respond, don't worry about it. There's always going to be a cosplayer that will answer you and that will have a dialogue with you. Fran Duart, how could I have forgotten him? Another fabulous cosplaying individual who, sort of made their mark with fabulous crafting abilities. There's for as large as the cosplay community is, that's also how small it is. You can find any Casey Renee you can find on YouTube and Instagram and so on and so forth. I'm literally name dropping so many people. Go follow all of them.
Well, before I let Rizuki jump in on this, because she's drinking now, so it's okay. Michael puts it in perfectly. Hearing the business side of cosplay is super intriguing. Seeing how it contrasts from the comic side is really cool. I know he said cook, but he fixed himself right after.
See that? He fixed himself. God bless.
He fixed himself. I know I can't do that. So anyway.
Another thing I cannot stress enough is that if you want to be invited to a convention, email the convention. Email them. Send them your Instagram pages. Send them but keep it professional. Basically start it off with, hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm a cosplayer from X, Y, and Z, which is a fabulous town. You all should really check it out. And just like start that dialogue and just wait for a response. One of the things I learned very early on is that if you email 10 conventions, at least one of them, if you're professional enough, at least one of them will respond back to you in kind.
Okay, I think it's your turn, Rizuki.
Okay, I was just like,
I've spoken enough.
We broke Tom. Holy shit, we broke Tom. And I know I got some. Just so everybody knows, I did invite some other friends in because they're going to be the artists chatting in the next panel. But I really don't have a time for this to end or for that to begin. So keep going.
Oh, I have no intention of stopping.
And by the way, I'm going to mention this to all our fans who are out there. Everybody jumping in, I love it. But I also want to talk to all of the three of you. If you want to stick around, because as Lou says here, he does think cosplay is an art form, and I've said that a billion times. You guys are more than welcome to stick around for the art panel. I know most of you know Shadow Rabbit Clay Guy. I have Jen who's on, No Flutter. Most of you know her. I have a couple other guys. Okay, so they're all going to be staying, Jen, to watch you. So congratulations. I have a couple other guys. Plus, James Avila is going to be here. My buddy JP Abstract is going to be here. And the homies are going to be coming in a little bit. You guys all know Jane Angel. But please, Rizuki, continue.
Well, first, no flutter. Okay. Sorry.
Hold yourself together, woman.
I just
See what I do?
Doki doki.
Anyway. You want to bring her in now?
No,
you want me to bring her in now?
It's your show. It's your ocean.
Are you ready, Jen?
I'm just a small fish.
Jen, can you hear me? Nod if you want to come in.
Or twice if you're in Milwaukee.
Ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable No Flutter, who they're all fangirling. I fangirled over you when I met you a couple years ago, but now
I know. We became friends through a bunch of different people, and I love Pete. He's just the sweetest. I even tell my cosplay friends and everything when I was like, all right, if you see a burly dude and he knows me and he comes up to you because he knows you guys are cosplaying my stuff, it's just Pete. It's just Pete, you know, and they're like, okay. So
I actually have an interesting question to ask you, my love.
Sure.
How does it feel to be on the same level as Sunset Dragon, Hannah Alexander, as someone who will design art of cosplay of a specific type, and people will cosplay that art?
Well, I think I've been doing it longer. I'm almost 40. I'm going to be 40 in 8 months. So
you don't look a day over 35.
I actually started in 2006 doing costume design for that was sold at like Party City, and I actually got one thing here that I bought for myself back in the day. Actually, I bought a few things, but it's the only thing that survived. So like I actually did a lot of the original like. If you've ever seen that in the early 2000s.
Pete, make her full screen, please, darling.
So, yeah. So
okay, there we go.
Wow. I did this line. It was hilarious. I had some girl who was wearing this bag at one of the cons, and I was like, "Do you want me to sign that?" She was like, "What?" And she's like, "I just found it and thought it was cute," and I was like, I'll sign it for you. You know,
that's fabulous.
But yeah, I did work. It was the California Costume Company. So I did, and how I got started was actually I didn't go to school for design. I went to school for web. My husband is a software engineer, and he does mostly like web stuff and everything. And
how is he, by the way?
He's good. He's in the other room. He's going to stream something. All right, I will.
He took good care of us at AwesomeCon that year. He was just running around making sure we all had water. And we were all separated. He was running around making sure we had water and stuff.
The best was when he was running around as Doctor Strange doing it. Yeah, my husband sews. I don't. So like my niece will cosplay. He makes all the costumes. I don't have the patience. I just am like, I just that's Tom, for someone else.
Her husband's Doctor Strange would blow your socks off.
Okay, it looks like we got a question.
Yeah.
Lewis asked, there you go. Important, cool question. Annie, Tom, Rizuki, have either of you created a cosplay costume where you create a 2-in-1 cosplay character, like Rob's Peter Griffin, Indiana Jones.
Oh, those are
Yes.
fun. Mashups
We're
are
talking about-
fun.
Yes.
All right, I've got a good one. Pete, I don't know if you're gonna want to pull this one up on Instagram.
I'm way ahead of you. How
So
far
I
down
did
should
a
I scroll?
mashup. I'm gonna be green.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
Yep.
That's all I
So
needed
I
to
did
know
a
to remember.
mashup at. This is one of those costumes that I think people didn't realize was me. So I did a mashup of She-Hulk and Hulk Hogan,
That's cute.
and
Atta
this
girl.
was the first bodysuit I've ever sewn in my life. And I made just about every piece except for the gloves I bought and altered, and then I bought the belt and the feather boa and the glasses because they were not making my own sunglasses. But
That's adorable.
Thank you. It was really fun, especially because the people who got it, because on top of the bandana I hand painted, it said She-Hulkamania.
Atta girl. That's my daughter who said that.
That's good.
But it was so fun. I just went out to people and the people who, oh yeah, Paul Rudd loved it too. He goes, "You look awesome," and then I cried.
That's cute.
But yeah, that's I love doing mashups. I've done that one. I've done a couple other ones. They're kind of escaping my mind right now, but mashups were a huge thing for me for a while. I'm sure I'll remember some later and then kick myself at 2 in the morning when I do remember.
I do a show every
stop
Wednesday
that.
night. Don't worry about it.
All right, I'll come back.
Exactly.
Oh, there you go. Did you call it She-Hulk Hogan?
Oh yeah, it was She-Hulk Hogan.
Exactly.
My claim to fame was based squarely on the shoulders of B. Arthur.
And off to the videotape.
And roll the tape. I have done 3 B. Arthur mashups. I've done Kill Stan B. Arthur.
My
I've
absolute
done
favorite.
Sailor Dorothy. I've done B. Pool, which is B. Arthur in a Deadpool outfit.
Okay, first,
Awesome.
for reference,
That's
I
our
love
girl.
That's
our
what my
girl.
husband's actually wearing a Golden Girls t-shirt right now. He loves the Golden Girls. He's wearing that hot pink one he found at Walmart. He loves
Yes!
that thing. He loves that shirt. He's wearing I wish I bought 2 because I think he's gonna wear it out.
First?
I love it.
There's the glow up
great.
shot.
I love it.
And I loved it. Like I did B Pool on a whim, because I know that the year that I did it, there was a Deadpool cosplay contest that was hosted by D Pity and Jessica Negri,
Oh, nice.
and I was like, what the hell? What's the worst that could happen? And I ended up winning because, of course, I did.
I mean,
And
of course.
it was hysterical. It was just hysterical. People were like, "Are you B. Arthur as Deadpool?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, I am." And
Can we stop
that's me with Rob
for 2
Liefeld.
seconds. Can we just
just like-
stop?
And
2 seconds.
C2E2, he literally came up behind me and he said, "You're Maud, right?" I'm like, "Why? Yes, I am. I am in fact Maud."
I think that's why I love Dragon Con so much, is because it's just like the con of mashups and crazy weird things.
Yes.
Like of nostalgia.
Completely.
Yeah, it's just so much fun to do that con because it's just no one's serious, but they're really well made.
Yep.
So you're just like, yes, or like I love how everyone at that con is like their goal is to be as like weird and obscure as
I
possible.
know.
It's amazing.
That's the best.
I-
Like, we were
I'm
the
very
Wuzzles.
excited.
We were the Wuzzles one year, and I didn't think anybody was gonna like recognize us. I don't think we like moved. I was just Kigoos, but it was like
Terrific.
it was the best. And my husband's so he was Bumble Lion, and all they didn't have like an orange. They had literally neon orange. So like he glue in like the dark. I have photos of it on my Instagram from last year at Dragon Con, but because that was last year was our second year wearing them, and they had the 80s. It was hilarious. So Thursday night, everyone usually does the bunny hunch, but I don't do that. I just usually wear like a Kigu Thursday night. So we're like, let's bring the Wuzzles again, and I jokingly bought like these like 80s pixel glasses. And we're in the elevator, and this couple's like, "Oh, are you going to the 80s party?" I'm like, there's an 80s party. And I was like, sure, we're totally planned. And we went there, and they're blasting the Never Ending Story, and it was just amazing. And I have photos and some video I think I posted on Instagram, and it was just hilarious. It was all black light, so he just like stood out like a beacon in the middle of this party because he was so orange. Just everyone bubble lion, it was great. I love doing obscure things. And I don't normally cosplay, but I love obscure cosplays. I think they're fun to do.
All right, so we're gonna. Oh, please.
Oh no, I was gonna say at some point, me and Annie Lee are probably going to do like a Rocky Horror Batman mashup at some point.
Nice.
Oh, that'd be great.
Because I have Batman for her, and I know that she wants to do Columbia Harley Quinn.
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
good one.
That
That's a
would be-
good one. I like it.
That would be delicious. Yes, just yes.
We have another
love it.
question.
Put that Batman cow to work. I did. I put that Batman cow to work.
Lewis wants to know if he can promote your cosplay in the Comic Collectors Guild and on his IG Instagram with pics.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. If you use any pictures taken by photographers, just make sure to tag them. Please.
Credit
That was
those
the next
photographers if you
question.
can.
Could you
Don't
guys
mind
please
me.
explain how important that is?
So important.
It's
So when it comes to that, basically think of a photo. A photo is art at the end of the day, and the way the art works with cosplay is it's two artists come together to create a piece. You have the cosplayer, who's one artist, and then the photographer, who's doing the photography and potentially editing, Photoshop, Lightroom, whatever program they use. So you have two different artists, and at the end of the day, they come together to take the photos, and then they present whatever it is that's posted on social media, et cetera, et cetera. So that piece has the model, the cosplayer, and then the photographer editor. So when you're posting an image, whether it's I'm posting an image of myself or if someone's sharing an image that I posted, it's all good, but I wasn't the only one that did work on that. The photographer did as well. So if I don't credit that photographer, it's like I'm dismissing their work, their time, their edits, their presets and everything on the camera, all the settings and everything they have to do. It's not just a point and shoot, okay, you're done. There's way more to photography and editing than one would think unless you're in it. So to not credit that time and that vision is really disrespectful.
I also want to point out it is imperative that you also credit your costume makers and your artists if it's based off of a specific artist.
Absolutely.
I will obviously use No Flutter and Sunset Dragon and Hannah Alexander. Credit those artists. They created the piece. You created the. It's all. One of the beautiful things about cosplay is that it's all a collaborative. Why can't I think of the word? It's all
Effort?
a collaborative work of art. All a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
You'll have. If you made the costume, great. If the artist made the art that you based your art off of, tag all the artists. Just credit all of the artists.
And 9 times out of 10, if someone posts a cosplay photo, a cosplayer does, 9 times out of 10, they will credit the photographer and whoever made the garment or whatever in the post, so that if you want to share it or repost it or something like that, all the information will be there for you.
Yes.
I've seen that on all 3 of these persons stuff, and Brazuki has definitely made sure that. Did you tag? Yes, I tagged Eddie. Leave me alone. Okay, I had him on my show. It's okay.
Got me watching the Laker game. I didn't even know I was in here right now.
Hey,
Everybody knows Jay Atramesser. You know the crew. We brought Jay. Jay's one of the homies, and he helps out too. He's going to be here.
Jay is very sus.
No.
Okay.
All right, put him up
Very
there.
sus.
No,
All right,
Jay.
keep calling me
That's from Among
sus.
Us.
He's sus. I'm already.
From Among Us. But here's the problem: is Jay's still trying to take off the burn from his League of Legends situation.
Oh, I didn't care. I was happy that they got pissed off at me and quit.
Jay sucks at League of Legends.
Oh
It
my
was
god.
my first time playing it, and they
Oh
got
God.
super mad at me because I
Now,
wouldn't stay in one lane.
I'm going to be a bragging
And
homie.
they made sure to let me know they were mad at me.
And I'm going to work with Jay full screen. One day, we all want to be as cool as Jay to have your art on a TV screen behind you.
You like that, right? You like that? I'm working in front of Skynet tonight.
I can put something of mine here. know.
No, wait till he gets the big screen behind him. It's crazy.
Yeah,
But anyway,
I know.
okay. So we're talking cosplay. We got a lot of stuff going on. Now, I wanted to bring Jay on for a reason. Same kind of reason why I wanted to bring on Jen No Flutter. Jay, I know because most of the time it's you and me behind tables and stuff. But I know when I have a table at Anime NYC, you come as a fan. It's like the one and only show I ever get
That's
to
the
see.
one show I go to as a fan.
Yep. Right. That's the one show you go to as a fan. And you're like a little kid. Like, oh, I can't wait to meet this artist. I can't wait to meet this artist. But the cool thing is, Jay then is like, oh, I want to meet that cosplayer too, but I'm online for this artist. Then that's when he gets his mini-me, because I give him 2 badges. And he gets his oldest daughter to run around and get pictures of cosplayers. What about cosplay?
There's one thing Pete knows about me is that we'll be at a Comic-Con, and they could have XYZ celebrity there, and I will not give a flying. I don't give a shit.
Flying leap.
But let me find out that one of my favorite cosplayers is there. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta go. I gotta meet this person. I need to get a picture.
He's talking about me.
I fanboy and fangirl over cosplayers. I can give a shit about the celebrities.
Now that's the question, and that'll be our cosplay wrap-up question, because it's a feel-good question for our 3 cosplayers. And we're going to start with... we'll start with Annie. We'll go alphabetical. When somebody geeks out, because I remember the 2 years I cosplayed, Mizuki was there with my Dr. Doom mask and stuff. When little kids were scared of me, it was awesome. When people were like, oh, finger lasers, Doom! When somebody wanted to take a picture with me, I lost my shit. And I'm just a fat guy in a mask. So you guys do it way more than me. How does it feel when somebody loses their shit in front of you because, oh my God, you are a blah, blah, or they yell your character's name across the room and they come running at you, be it child, adult, or a weirdo like Jay?
Whoa.
A weirdo like Jay. I told you, he's always sus.
Yeah, so like when people get excited want to take a picture with me, my reaction is usually like, okay. But internally I'm like, why? Because I never, like, I love taking pictures of other people and everything, but I don't know, I never feel like, oh my God, of course they're taking their picture with me, you know? But,
That's a great Tomcat impersonation.
Thank you. No, but there was one instance where I was dressed up as the girl from The Ring, and I look pretty convincing, and I do the contortion and everything, and a little girl started to cry. I felt so bad, I ripped my wig off, and she just saw the wig cap under it. I was like, no, I'm sorry. And it was the most guilt I'd ever felt at a convention in my life.
I made a child cry as Dr. Doom when I took my mask off, and then he was like, oh, okay. It was cool.
The girl was like, no, you're weird still.
No, the kid, once I took my mask off, he's like, oh, he's got glasses on. Okay, cool. But again, Rizuki has seen me scare children at the supermarket too, so.
That's why I would warn people. I'm like, if you see a big burly dude, it's just
Riz,
we love big and burly. We love big and burly.
like I said, OnlyFans next week. You're gonna get all the big and burly you can handle.
Good. I look forward to it.
I have personally been standing next to you because I've been carrying all your shit and seeing people lose their minds. Oh my God, it's Mizuki from all ages.
It's I don't know, it's crazy. I think the best word I can say is it's humbling. Out here on Long Island, I ended up kind of
really quick. Could you define humbling for Tom?
wow, called out.
He's always had my
right
number.
there.
He's always had my number.
Oh my God. I don't know. It's humbling. Like I'll give like 3 quick points. The first one is out here on Long Island. I do a lot of work in a bunch of different conventions and things, behind the scenes, workshops, things like that. And it wasn't planned, but I'm so grateful to it. I've kind of formed a small like posse of younger cosplayers, and I adore the ever-living crap out of all of them. If I ever hear one of them gets bullied, I will show up at their school and be like, who is it? Where are we going? But I just, like, I genuinely love these kids, and I'm excited to see what they do and everything, but they'll come running. And, like, honestly, and Pete will explain it, they've come running like, Mom. And I'm just like, where? I don't know where your mother is.
No. You guys don't understand.
And then I realized they're talking to me.
Tropicon last year, I've seen her little crew of minions. They come to my table and say hi because they know as I tell everybody, my table is home base. If you get lost, if you're not safe or whatever, come to my table, you're safe. So these kids know that, and they meet up there. Then they meet her. She puts her bag down, and they go off. So Tropicon last year, these 3 kids come up to me. We want food. And I'm like, is it because, like, you see a fat guy and you think I have food? Like, what the
Yes.
fuck? And no. And then Rizuki comes running over. No, wait. These are my con kids, and they need to eat. I need you to get them food. I'm like, no. Why the fuck? No, I want food. So like, no, they have their credit card. Just use your DoorDash. I'm like, oh, all right. So I DoorDash them food at the hotel. Then they all leave. Half hour later, some guy Raul is on the phone with me, and I'm like, what the? I got your chicken nuggets, and I'm like, oh yeah. So I go pick up the chicken nuggets, and then out of nowhere, a child shows up. Thank you for the nuggies, and goes away. And I'm like,
That's me. I'm the child.
No nuggies for you.
It's not even my nuggets. I'll just take them.
Absolutely precious.
and this is the way apparently. So yeah,
Yeah, it's gotten to, and that's why I'm like humbled by it. It's gotten to a point where like a lot of these kids' parents, they're like, oh, is Rizuki there? Okay, and they've messaged me, they've spoken to me in person, and it's gotten to a point where they're just grateful that I'm there for their kids. So that's just really, like, it makes me cry when I think about it. Like, they got me engagement gifts when I got engaged. They got me a Mother's Day gift. I got a Sailor Moon Monopoly set for Mother's Day last year. That's it. I don't know. It's this whole, the fact that I could do that for somebody's life, just, it makes me really happy that I could do that for somebody. What was it? When it comes to like other events outside of Long Island, it's weird. I do a lot in the Sailor Moon community, like throughout New York State, throughout different states. I don't know why, I just do things. And it's gotten to a point where I've gone to concerts just as me, with no wig, nothing. Just I've gone to concerts. Most recent was Hatsune Miku a year and a half ago. And people came up to me like, aren't you Rizuki? And I'm just like, I have concerns, but yes. And they're like, you did this with Sailor Moon, you don't understand. And it's just, long story short, the only word I can say is humbling. I'm just very grateful, and I'm humbled, and I'm happy to be able to do things on the Long Island community and Sailor Moon community. They just make people feel welcomed and inclusive and loved. And if I can do that for even one person, that's better than anything. Like, that's better than anything.
That's awesome.
There's also a small world because we have mutual friends.
We do, and it's like, what was it? Katsucon this year. I know my brother had mentioned you, and like we started following each other. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of flailed.
Bullshit. She freaked out.
Wait, did
I thought she had a seizure.
I was like, he was like, oh, my sister really likes Sailor Moon, and I was like, yeah, here. You know?
Yes, I have it framed because I know my fiance and I were talking about apartment hunting and stuff, and in my head I'm just like, this is going on like on the wall framed with my like Sailor Moon cosplay. It's like done in the craft room, like done. That's framed.
I tell her I'm coming back, and I'm like, oh, you know, my friend Jen did this amazing Sailor Moon piece. Would you like it? I send her a picture. She goes, that's no Flutter. I'm like, yeah, my friend Jen. And then the flailing began on the phone. I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna pick one up for you. All right.
I'm still learning with being a seamstress and sewing and builds and stuff like that. So I'm not at a level that I feel personally yet. But I know a lot of my friends have done different no flutter designs, and I know at Katsucon a bunch of them did. Oh my god! Like the Fairy Sailor Moon was absolutely
You want to know
gorgeous.
How hard that was to keep secret for a whole year?
I can't imagine.
Oh, there's another set coming out of something, not Sailor Moon, but a whole. I already sketched them. They're not done, but they're sketch done, and I'm like, oh god! Like I literally have stuff for 2021 already done.
Oh my god!
Good.
And I'm gonna actually ask you a question, and then I'm going to like probably cry in a corner. If I were to message you and not flail and ask you if you could do certain characters that never get included, would you do that?
I do. I have. I do cosplay commissions. Yeah, I do. But yeah, message me.
Okay,
You know,
hold on. As you answer,
I might be able to put something together.
Adorable.
You know,
Adorable.
I literally
she's about to cry.
my friends. Okay, so you want to know how the well, the burlesque ones were a joke, actually. Back in 2014, me and my sister were like, oh, man, I would love to cosplay Sailor Moon, but, like, we're moms, and we have giant boobs, and, you know, so I was like, for us, it would be burlesque
Me too.
Moon. And that was literally how it was born. We were like, yeah, that's why they're in sketches. They weren't done. They were just sketches because I was like, burlesque Moon! And then it just blew up again, like, because, you know, just like the sirens did. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, I'm never going to draw Sailor Moon stuff again. This was just crazy. Then the armor scouts. So how that came to be was a friend of mine had an armor group going together, and it was completely different. Like, they were going to go very spacey. They were wearing white spandex, and the girls were like, this is a disaster. We can't do this. And I was like, do you need my help? One of them sitting on my kitchen table discussing with the other one over like Skype at the time, and I'm just drawing, like, do you need help? And they're like, no, we don't want to use you. And I'm like, I'm just right here. And like, one girl's crying, the other one's cursing and laughing, and like tears are running down. They're trying to figure this out, and I'm just like, tell me if you need help now. And they're like, no, we don't need your help. Okay. 2:00 in the morning. Jen, I'm in my bathroom at 2:00 in the morning. 2:00 in the morning on the floor in my bathroom, so I don't wake my kid because she's autistic, and if she wakes up, it's over, you know? And I was like, I'm on the floor, like, what do you need? I have it on Skype. They're like, we want this. I'm like sketching. I have like the little sketches somewhere. And I'm like, how about this? So like the first iteration of them, the girls did at MegaCon. There was only a few of them, and they were very rough. Like, literally, I drew those sketches on my bathroom floor. And that's what they did, because they only had like a week to the con, and they were like, they needed something, you know, because they bought all this Worbla, and they're like, I helped my friend paint her first set of armor, you know. I'm like, I don't cosplay, you know, and I'm painting armor. But it was fun, and then I was like, okay, fine. So then I sketched them all out, and then I was like, all right, girls, I'm warning you now, these are just sketch form. If you want to do them, just make them extra and all this other stuff. And you know, they did them, and I kind of based the ones that what they did kind of, you know, in the finals, you know. But I've never drew armor before, so a year later, 2 years later, I think it was 2 years later, I was like, I really love the design of Sailor Moon. I love all of them, don't get me wrong, but I felt like I grew. So I went back and I redrew her more epic with the blood splatter and the cat and everything, and I felt like it portrayed it very much better. And I might go back and actually redraw my burlesque Moon, at least full body, you know, and do a cosplay breakdown just as for like shits and giggles, but I haven't had time. I've been so busy. Also kind of goes back to that first question Tom asked me about being on the same level, and then Pete just be like, it's just Jen. I've always been that way. Doesn't matter. Like, I'm just like, we can go hang out, you know, like, you want to sit at my kitchen table, and half my friends sit on the floor and they're just like, what do we do? Like, we joke, like, I joke design stuff. That's just the way I am. I don't think I'll ever change.
It's hysterical, Jen. It's just like, I remember we were eating wings and having a beer. 12 hours later, my sister's flailing because I know you. And then when I go to thank you again, there's 87 people in front of your booth, and your husband's like, she's a little busy right now. I'm like, I'll be back later. then a half hour later, I'm getting murdered at my table. I have kids everywhere, and he just sneaks up behind my table, gives me the print and a bottle of water. Do you need anything else? I'm like, thank you, Dad.
Like, it's absolutely hysterical, because, you know, we talk about in cosplay, we talk about mashups. No, Jen, that is your shtick.
That's my shtick is mashups.
It's actually how it started. And when that Hocus Pocus thing dropped, I was like,
that's what I was working on.
Hold on. I may have to do it.
Put that back.
It's upside down. So sorry, I'm shaking. I'm diabetic.
So am I. It's okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm working on her. I'm working on Winnie. She's my fave.
Mine too.
So, yeah, she's my fave.
I'm very
someone has a
very much
seizure.
excited to see more of that. I definitely would love to potentially cosplay as that design.
I jokingly posted on my Patreon, and I showed my friends. I'm like, "Did I draw a full bodysuit underneath this? It's just getting covered." You sure betcha I did.
So what is that you're designing in there, Jen?
What happened?
What are you using there to design with? Just out of curiosity.
Just my Cintiq.
Oh my God.
I just have. I only just got a Cintiq. For years, I've used. I only got the Cintiq in June. For years, I just used like the bamboo, or all my art that you've seen in the past. I just drew using the regular that you plug into the computer and you draw like this.
Cintiq could be nice. I'm still on a Intuit.
Yeah, that's all I had. An Intuit. Yeah, I had the
played
bamboo.
Video
and
games for years. I can handle the hand-eye coordination of it.
I'm actually glad I learned and did it for so many years on the type of tablet, because if this dies suddenly, I can go back. I can go back. It'll take a little bit of time to be like, oh God, but I can go back. It'll come back like riding a bike. So I'm really glad I learned, and it was hilarious. Like 2003, 2004, I was in college, and I was like, I really wanted one, and they had like the little bamboos, and they were super cheap, like $75. I'm like, I'm gonna get it, and like. I remember like sitting there and like, I can't do this. This sucks, and like, I just every day I just used it. So
with the little space, yeah. I started even farther back with a pen partner from.
Oh no, God! I had Photoshop since '95, but I didn't. I didn't get anything.
Sorry, Jen. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna continue talking and we're gonna continue chatting. But I'm gonna bring some friends on. I'm gonna bring Jay back.
Yeah, hey Jay.
And then another friend.
Now Jay's here.
And then another.
It's because it sucks.
We needed a second. It actually reminded me because they were talking about technology. I'm also going to bring on our buddy Lewis, the Shadow Rabbit Clay guy. Say hi, everybody.
Aw, hey Shadow.
Okay,
hey,
and I'm going to bring on a new friend. This is a friend of mine. All of you know, I know Rizuki, you did a couple of the shows with me. When they're in town, and I'm trying to do other towns, there is a show called the Pancakes and Booze Art Show. It is absolutely the most amazing thing in the world. It's just this underground mashup of art everywhere, body painting,
pancakes,
crazy, and free pancakes. That's the stick. That's the stick. That's the hook. So it is absolutely one of my favorite shows in the world. The guy Tom that runs it is an absolutely the coolest guy in the world, and you meet some of the coolest people. And one of the cool people I've met, one of the amazing artists that I've met, is my buddy Jeremy, JP Abstract, and we're going to bring him on now. Jeremy!
Hey,
what's going on, brother? How are you?
Good. Dude, it's going, man.
So you've been listening a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I've been chilling for it's been a little while. I've been just tuning in. It's pretty cool, man. I'm digging it. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you saying yes. So because you get a lot of no's, but we got into a groove, and I figured you and I have gotten into a groove and stuff. So the first thing I want to do, I remember the first time I saw you saw my Artist Club shirt. And you thought that was really cool.
Get that shirt, actually.
Hold that thought. If you see the gentleman over there with the hat on, and I'm going to pull him full screen so he can show you.
Don't do that.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
That's the guy. Oh shit!
And he's actually wearing one of the newer Artist Club shirts.
Oh fuck, man! Damn! Wow! Shit, it's a pleasure to meet you, man. I'm like, damn, that guy's pretty cool, and wow, he's the guy. Wow, shit.
He's the guy. Now, JP. Tell everybody kind of what you do and where you do it from and stuff like that in regards to your artwork.
Man,
I asked the tough shit, bro. I really do.
Yeah, it's totally cool. Well, COVID changed the game for one. Beforehand, it used to be anywhere, anytime, any place, whatever venue around the world, you name it. Pancakes and Booze is where I really got my start. Other than that, like literally just came right out of college and started just touring around doing shows. So between Fused Underground in Philadelphia, great show on hold currently, and Pancakes and Booze, it's been real just to tour around, see all the scenes, meet cool people like Pete.
Lots of painting.
Lots of painting. It's a fun life. Currently, I've been more on like the digital aspect, trying to just do like digital exhibitions and digital anything.
Sure.
But I do plan on doing a lot of painting in the very near future. I actually have a few of my paintings right here, just to throw them on if we had to do it. You know?
Yeah. Well, first, this is what I'm going to do first.
Sure.
I'm going to go to your Instagram real fast.
Oh shit.
And
Okay.
we're going to talk about that for a little bit.
He's very professional that way. He is going to plug, sir. Plug,
Yes,
you will.
sir.
Yeah.
We're going to start here because
I'm digging
this
the screen caps.
one kind of blew my mind. The
Fuck
skateboard
yeah.
stuff you got going on.
Oh, that's
No.
cool.
Exactly.
Oh, I like that one.
I have 3 different styles. You're seeing them all right here between my normal style, which is really the last one there, the bleed, which is that one. And then we kind of have like a mishmash in between, kind of like the jigsaw piece one you're seeing there. Damn, this is really fucking cool. We got all the references on screen. This is bomb as hell. I'm loving this. I don't even got to show anything. It's on screen. There's the bleed paintings as well again. You know, this endeavor is from the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 created that contest. And God, I don't know where to begin with Tony Hawk because
Oh my God.
I like that one.
Yeah,
That was my
I
favorite right
seriously wouldn't be who I am without Tony Hawk. Really, it's crazy to think about it, but yeah, that series changed my life. So when they had the Created Deck contest, I'm like, shit, I got to get on it, and yeah, we just started going right into it. Have a following. We go all around the world. Usually, obviously, during these times we're digital, but yeah, really just trying to do whatever I can to get out there, and I love what I do. I can't wait to actually start doing shows, like physical shows again, because Pancakes and Booze is a really damn good show.
Brother, I hear you. I talked to Tom a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I can't wait, bro. I'm chomping at the bit. I'm trying to scroll down to find some more of your stuff.
Exactly. Hey, go for it. Yeah, if you guys want to check it out, it's at JP Abstract Art, so it's just my handle on here.
I can attest that Pete talks about that show all the time.
Yep. Oh yeah.
All the time.
It's so
Frothing at the mouth. He
So
is
are you doing
frothing
decks?
at the mouth.
Okay.
Are you doing deck shows, JP?
What am I doing?
Are you doing deck shows with that work? Because I know around here we have some
wish,
more
you know,
deck shows going on.
Ironically, you know, I'll let the cat out of the bag. So there's 2 endeavors that I'm currently doing that are involving skateboarding. One was the Tony Hawk Pro Skater thing, which God, just even saying that series name is just iconic. But the second ordeal is I have a giant list of skate companies that I'm going to send a sampler to. So we're going to see if we can get stuff on decks, merchandise, wheels, just all that crazy shit, grip tape. So, you know, I'm always trying to figure out just what to do and kind of top myself and not really, kind of just take steps up the ladder. So, you know, it's a fun life. Like Pete, I miss doing physical shows. Pancakes and Booze is the fucking shit. If it's in your town, neck of the woods,
Go.
check it out.
Absolutely.
I'd check it out. It's a fun
All
one.
right. It's a fun show. So we get a good look over Jeremy there. There he is. We got some
There's
folks
the
in the
man,
building. The first guy in the building, we're going to say hi to Pops.
I'm gonna check it
Oh,
out.
What's going on, Pops?
Pops.
How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Hope you should be at the rehearsal dinner for your son's wedding, and tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow, I will give you guys a hint tomorrow when the show starts, when the creator of the show is going to sneak in and do a quick Pops at the reception in his tuxedo. So we'll let everybody know when that's happening.
Woohoo!
Crazy about a sharp-dressed man.
Phil likes to sing.
Damn right, ZZ Top. I like that.
All right, so we're talking art and stuff like that. Now, did you get a chance to dive into the all the cosplay stuff that we've been? Oh wait, hold on, really quick before we do that. We got one more, another local Long Island guy that I want to bring on. I told you guys that this is going to be all crazy and stuff. Another gentleman whose artwork I adore, Mr. James Avila. How are you, sir?
Hey, good. How you guys doing?
Good to see you. I know some of us know James, and if you haven't, you've seen his work. I promise you've seen his work.
What's up, Lou?
Yeah, there you go. See, and Lou, we're gonna come to you first, but I want to get the new fish, you know, used to the tank first. You know what I mean?
Can I catch this? Is it okay for me to catch this fish that we're talking about? He's handsome.
Gotta slowly add the water.
Okay, just want to get you into the water slowly, so you don't hurt yourselves or nothing. I am gonna do a screen share. I am gonna do a screen share though in a second. and I'm just pulling it up now so we can show off some of you. Yeah, no, we're trying to be, we're trying to be modern. We're trying to be modern. We're trying. Now, Jim, what have you been up to? What have you been up to lately? I know COVID. We just talked about that. Kind of slowed down the show thing, but you've been busy. I know you have books and stuff.
I mean, basically lately I've been trying to keep busy. Two of the main things I was doing was I was just part of a Halloween anthology story that Enrique Lopez got me hooked up with it. It's going to be Horrendous
Fantastic.
Magazine.
Stupendous?
So I got
Horrendous and Stupendous. That's right. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, Horrendous #2. It's coming out soon, so I think that's going to be coming out shortly. And then also, I've just been doing a lot of private commissions, to be honest. I got a lot of clients that I've been working with that have been kind of like people who I've done commissions for time and time again. So I've been doing that, as well as finishing up my creator-owned series that I write and illustrate. It's called All I Have to Do Is Dream. And over there you can see like I have the first 4 issues that I was selling at conventions pre-COVID. I have the next 2 issues kind of like on deck that are, gonna be for sale soon. Hopefully, I've been kind of like waiting with printing and whatnot until possibly like a con can come up and everything like that. But I've been kind of just like staying busy trying to get all that stuff like ready to go. So like as soon as the cons start up again, I can get right back into it.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I know at least 3 of us, you, Jay, Atromester there, and myself, we do have a bit of news that in December,
yes, yeah, exactly.
the Suffolk County is going to be doing a small show. It's run by Phil Russert. It's going to be a lot of fun. Lots of good names. Billy Tucci, Keith Williams, Larry Stroman are going to be there. A lot of great people. All-Star Comics is going to be there. I'm going to tell you, Phil is a nurse. He's a registered nurse. I've spoken to him because I'm diabetic, so I was like, I talked about some concerns. The plans he's gone into for sanitation, for keeping things clean, for the social distancing. They're only allowing a certain amount of people into the venue at a time. There are going to be the aisles. There aren't going to be aisles. It's just going to be one big room, everybody along the walls and stuff like that. Safety was the paramount concern, and trying to get a little bit of normalcy back in our lives, a con, and safety together. I think he found it, I think, without having to be outside. Because, being outside in December, I think I would be the only one having fun. So that's what's going on. I'm
a snow guy too. I don't mind it.
Okay, there you go. So we're going to be having fun with that. But you've been now. Tell me more about the book. I know you're not with us the rest of the weekend. So
what's that?
Do you have the next issue of the book coming out, or?
Yeah. So I have the next 2 issues of the book coming out. It's a book that I write and illustrate. It's a modern fantasy story about a girl who gets cursed to physically enter the world of our dreams, only she can't control really when the jump happens or what type of dream she's thrown into. So I have 4 issues that I had out and published and everything like that already. I have 2 more issues coming out that are going to kind of finish up the first story arc. So that would be issues 5 and 6. 5 is going to be, it's all finished up, ready to go. 6, I'm kind of at the, inking, lettering, finish up type phase of that. And that's going to finish up the series. It's going to be also the 6th issue is going to be kind of like a 40-page deluxe size book. So that's some of the main books that I've been selling at cons and things like that. And on digital and Comixology, it's available. And also as a bonus, like I was saying at the Horrendous magazine, I have a little 9-page short story from my series that's going to be in that. That's kind of like a Halloween side story. So it was really fun to like take all my characters and kind of throw them in this Halloween type of setting that I always like drawing that type of stuff. So that was super fun.
Are you gonna crowdfund, or are you putting it out on your own?
See, right now I've been putting it on my own. I'm kind of like not sure what to do with the crowdfunding because, again, like pre-COVID, I was talking to a few publishers that were kind of interested and potentially wanting to put it out, but it kind of like was at that strange time that like as we were talking about things, everyone kind of had like that pencils down order that happened right during COVID. So like it was this weird like, you know, are we still doing this? Are we going to go forward? Like then like even just me as a person was like, do I like push too much while I know everybody's kind of having a hard time right now with like getting this. So I'm still not quite sure, but the one thing I am sure is that I am going to be continuing to self-publish and get things printed for myself, sell it on my online shop, sell it on Comixology and stuff like that for now.
Awesome.
But once I like figure out things for sure, that's when I'll like think about crowdfunding like a Kickstarter or Indiegogo for a trade once like the series is all released and like get like the collected volume out for that.
That makes good sense. Now, I know there's one of us, well, a couple of us, but there's one of us that I just brought on in this room, and Tom, I know you're my headliner, your mom, we all know, but you have to give the spotlight to someone else, and I can't think of a better person than Lewis Shadow Rabbit Clay Guy over here. There he is.
Yeah.
Lewis is one of my favorite artists, not just because he's really nice and he gave me a ride to Washington. And that was a fun ride too. We had a good ride.
Actually, I want to interject too quick. Lewis did such a great sculpture of one of the characters from my book that is like a staple at my con tables now. And like whenever I see it, like anyone that comes by like always looks at it and is like, oh my God, who did that? That's awesome. And I always like point over at his table. He is such a cool dude.
Dude, thank
you. Anybody who doesn't believe that,
his artwork's great.
James's artwork is ridiculous. But we're going to talk about clay and wax because that's all the stuff that you got behind. Yeah, see, this guy's just ridiculous.
That's what I'm predominantly made up of.
See, well then there you go, and a little bit of spice, Tom. A little bit of spice.
Just a drop.
Just a pinch. Now,
there's one thing that I like. There's one thing that I like really want to address here is that we're all artists. We're all part of different mediums. We all go to the same conventions, the same shows and whatnot. What is it that is going to bring us back? What is it going to take for us to find that home again?
I don't got a choice. I already paid for my tables.
Yeah,
I definitely think a vaccine is definitely one that I would like strongly advise be a thing that comes to fruition.
It's sad. It's true. It sucks, but
it sucks.
Yeah, it's just
fucking sucks.
It's
hey man, we're cosplayers here. We can get the gas masks all done up right.
Right?
That was legit.
Yeah, everyone just like cosplay Mortal Kombat characters.
Yeah,
let's do it, you know.
Sub-Zero.
No. All of us from Among Us. Just we're all in helmets.
Everybody in an astronaut costume. Everyone in an astronaut costume.
Yeah.
Everybody, let's be sus now, you know.
I'm gonna take this back to Lewis. I'm gonna take this back to Lewis real quick. I'm gonna take this back to Lewis really quick because I want to talk about his wonderful toys behind him. Now, I know we have cosplayers here who love being, these wonderful cosplay stuff.
I'm working on a lot of people.
There you go.
Want me to put them in the face of comic book character or something like that. So I'm working on a lot of those right now. But all the clients, it's surprises, so I can't post anything.
Right, but you have done some characters for some original people, and then I know I have a list of people that want to speak to you about that. But you have. Do me a favor. Could you turn around and grab Pickle Rick?
Yo, Pickle Rick!
Ah, Pickle Rick!
Morty!
He's so good.
Morty!
He's life-size, too.
That's awesome.
He's life-sized.
He's like, well, you're not wrong.
See, he's making that with his hands, folks. And then I met him. I had already been doing shows, and we meet Lewis. And Lewis is the nicest guy in the absolute world. Great person. And then you see all these amazing things that he has. It's like, he's made them himself and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, you can't see Lewis anymore once the show starts because everybody's at his table with due reason. And I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. Oh, now he's breaking out little boxes.
Yeah.
There you go. Some downright skill right there. Especially Pickle Rick over there. Man.
Which means sooner or later the Among Us figures will come on.
Please.
And
Yeah, I was sitting here, man. I'm meaning to make the Venture Brothers and everything. So
I'm so mad that got canceled. We need
they're gonna
something to
figure
happen.
something out.
Yeah, something needs to be figured out immediately. Something needs to be figured out immediately, and because I'm very upset. I'm not happy about that at all. But hey, that's just me, and I'm crazy. So.
Hey.
I mean, you're not crazy for
I
wanting the
think
show
we're
to
all
be
crazy in our own
back.
way.
Fair. This is fair.
Yep.
Now, okay. We all miss shows. We all miss cons. Rizuki's gone. We all miss shows. We all miss cons a lot.
So much.
And I'm gonna start with our newbies, and then we're gonna scroll up the thing. We'll start with Jeremy though. What do you miss the most about being at shows? Like the one thing that you miss the most besides making money? Because we all miss making money.
It is a business,
Right? Yeah.
It is business.
Exactly. There is a business aspect to it. Yeah.
Wow. I'd say probably the physical interaction with people.
Very cool.
I don't mind digital. It's all cool if it has to happen, and the digital is just taking over, the whole wave. But speaking from like terms of pancakes and booze, it's like the Warped Tour of art. You get to see everything, anything that you could possibly imagine, and the bar is open, so you get to have some drinks, you get to feel a bit tipsed, whatever, party hardy, and I really just miss that physical interaction of seeing thousands of people a night, checking out art and loving people's stuff, meeting artists.
With pancakes, it's weird because even if you don't sell something, you're still having such a great groove.
You're still having a great time.
Yeah, it's really weird. We could talk about. We could do a whole show just talking about.
Dude, we could do a whole show. Yo, if you ever want to do a show that has Tom, Chris,
we're gonna talk because we need to get Tom.
Derek.
Yeah. We'll talk later. It'll be wonderful.
We'll
James, I'm gonna ask you the same question. What do you miss besides the money about shows?
Besides the money.
I do really miss seeing all the crowds and everything. One thing also, it's nice that we get to do stuff like this, but also just kind of hanging out the whole day and meeting other artists that I might not have known about or knew what they were doing, but you hang out with them, you're hanging out the whole day, got your table next to them, and that's how I met all you guys over here just from doing cons and hanging out all day, and you walk around, you get to know everybody. So that's definitely one thing that I do miss. It's the community of all the shows, especially the local shows. It's we all do a lot of the same ones, all us guys in the area. So you get to know everybody, and it's kind of every weekend when you see each other, you're oh hey, how's it going? You excited for this weekend and everything like that. So that's one thing that I definitely would like to get back into doing. Just kind of hanging out with all the guys, artists, and
absolutely
hanging, partying, having a good time.
Yep. Jen, what do you miss?
Oh, my friends. Yeah, I definitely miss my friends. We live in the middle of
hanging out with
nowhere.
me.
I'm murdering you.
Wow.
I'm terrible.
I felt that
you
one.
guys
I
have to
felt
play
that.
Among Us with us. I am terrible
I'm
today.
used to it.
I am.
I don't know that I want to now.
There's a side of me you don't know. No, I live in.
I'm scared.
I live in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by coyotes and bears. So I really, really miss human interaction. I don't even live that close to Orlando anymore. I'm about 2.5 hours away, and about 2 hours or an hour and a half from Tampa. So I live in the middle of nowhere, and it's starting to take a toll when all there is a Dollar Tree and a Walmart. So
I can live with the Dollar Tree. Now, really quick, James, we had a question from Ramon Garcia. Does your comic have Greek elements, like Greek gods and Morpheus and stuff like that?
Not particularly. I don't really have the Greek gods elements in it. One of the biggest influences I have actually was Winsor McKay books and Lil Nemo and Slumberland, that type of stuff.
Little Nemo.
What a great anime that was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. The movie that came out was fantastic. I thought.
Yeah.
It's actually streaming now. I think it's on Amazon. You could watch it. So.
Oh shit, it's on Prime.
Yeah.
I have the VHS because I'm old.
I grew up with
VHS.
I grew up with a black and white TV where I was a remote control, so I wasn't here.
Oh no, right? You had to sit
Channel
there.
13.
So my
Well, yeah,
Nona
one of my parents'
was, like,
first TVs, I remember we had like the big like box that had these buttons that you would press for the channels. It was like 20 like buttons that you'd have to like individually press for a
you
channel.
only had a few, and then you had the dial to like maybe tune it in.
Speaking of VHS, I actually have for wrestling fans, I have the 2001 collection on VHS.
You can ask
Fantastic.
you can ask Rizuki about the wall of videotapes that I collected. That's another show. That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show.
Yeah, we got some show ideas. Hell yeah.
I do. We're building. We're world building right now. Jay, I know we've talked about this, but I want other people to hear because I know money's your first, second, and third answer. But what's the fourth thing you miss about shows?
For me, I mean, it's always easy to say things. Traveling. I enjoy traveling and just getting to the show is usually fun. Especially if I have like you in the car with me, or maybe Angel or something like that.
Especially when we have stories and the cops tell us that you might die on the road when you get there.
Oh yeah, we always seem to almost die on the way over there, and then
I couldn't see
like what everybody else is saying. Everybody else is saying about like the fan interaction and just talking to people and stuff like that. But one thing, it's not so much that I miss it because I never got to do it. But dealing with this, I think I'm gonna make a point of doing it more. Is actually like James was saying, like hanging out at shows, because usually after the show ends, I have to go into dad mode and go to the hotel and help with homework and essays and stuff like that. And I'm doing that all night before going back to the show again. So I never get to hang out. So I think I'm gonna start doing that more because this sucks. I'm tired of looking at these people in this house right now. I
will attest to number one. We've shared hotel rooms where like you're ready to eat a pizza and pass out and get ready for the next day, and Jay is sitting there helping correct homework and being super dad. So number one, and I will attest also that the ride to C2E2, the cop, I think it was in Pennsylvania, goes, you might hit a little fog, but you'll be okay. I couldn't see the hood of the car.
Oh, jeez.
And then 18-wheelers were rockets.
That was before the snowstorm.
Yeah, that was before the snowstorm.
You have to hear the crazy story me and Sammy took when one day she's like, "Hey Jen, do you want to take a ride to God? Oh my
it's
God,
that crazy you don't even know where you
went. Crazy. We went through the backwoods of Arkansas. Okay.
Yeah, no,
we got
I
routed.
Can't.
It was like a one-day trip to
Some of
Missouri.
us can't do that.
I think it was Missouri.
That's where they shoot all those horror movies.
It was Ozarks.
I heard was, let's cut his hair.
And she's like, yeah, I have some friends there. Yeah, she's like, we have some friends. She's like, I'm doing an art class. And it was like out of the blue. And she's like, you want to come with me? And I was like, sure. And then I remember it would have only taken like 16 hours to drive, but because of detours and stuff, it took like almost 24 hours. And we had like 2 hours of sleep and then the little class. So we drove through we're supposed to just go through Georgia and really easy, got detoured, ended up in the backwoods of Alabama, then into Mississippi, then into the backwoods of Arkansas. And you had to see, we jokingly stumbled upon this town at like 2:00 in the morning. And I swear, I jokingly was like, we're going to die here. Because this is, oh my God, I don't remember the name of the town. It felt, okay, seriously, we were in the middle of the woods. It was almost like a Pleasantville type town. It was so creepy. It was too perfect almost. And I jokingly was like, they're gonna it felt like the House of Wax, where it was like perfect like town. And we're like, I jokingly was like, check the front for any nails. They're not gonna stop us suddenly, but there was no one on the street. But it was like, I understand it was really late at, early in the morning, but even in a small town, there wasn't even a car, anything. It was so quiet. And there was just one light bulb just blinking. And I was like, keep going. She's like, and it was like a horror movie. She was like, oh no, we need gas. I was like, no, we're not stopping here. It was like the makings of every horror movie possible. And we just every like thing that happens in a horror movie, we just bypassed it. We're like, nope, still going. We're not leaving, not stopping. Don't care if it's an old lady on the side of the road leaving you.
That's like being on Straight Path and Wyandanch.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was the crazy.
Wow, you went there. You went. I was not anticipating a Wyandanch reference. I'm impressed.
You're told by the Suffolk County PD not to stop at midnight on Straight Path and Wyandanch.
Yeah.
I was really confused about, because like even those small towns, like a cop is like out at night, like a sheriff or something, and we were praying, we're like, we're not going to get pulled over by one of these small town guys, are we? And but there was no one. It was too quiet. It was so creepy, and you have to ask Sammy about it. It was just hilarious, and it was a trip to the Ozarks. Okay, it was one
fantastic.
Of those things.
Lewis,
I think it's cool that you referenced Silent Hill though, because I actually live about 45 minutes away from Centralia.
I was going to say in Pennsylvania.
Which is where the old school graffiti highway. It's now dirt, but I was like, damn, right in the fields of Centralia. I felt that.
It was so crazy.
What do you miss about shows? What do you miss about shows, Lewis? What do you miss about shows, Lewis?
Man, everything everyone said, man. I go to the cons. For me, it's like the only thing I do that I get to enjoy really for,
Well, you have 87 kids.
I don't hit the bars or anything like that.
Because you have 7,000 kids in your house, bro.
Just a couple of them.
Right back.
But man, everyone I've met who I've liked is at the cons now, man. Like, I just miss hanging out. I miss seeing all the art. I miss doing my thing. And as soon as they come back, that it's safe for everybody, I'm really excited for it. I saw, I was talking to Phil last night about his show too. I got to talk it over with the missus and everything, but either way, I'm going to try to sneak up in there. I might be in full hazmat gear and everything, but I think it's going to be great.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Going to go all Breaking Bad, huh?
Oh, 100%, man.
He probably has the gear, too. I really think he has the gear. It wouldn't surprise me if he did.
We'll talk later, but yeah. Get the full call out here, man. I'm ready.
Tom, talk to us. What are you going to miss about shows?
Well, first and foremost, I do need to preface this by saying that many of you know me as this vain, corpulent creature, when actually I'm very insecure. Having said that, what I'm going to miss, what I miss the most is family. Is the family. You go to these shows, you go to these events constantly, and you run into the same people, you form bonds, you form friendships, you form business relationships. It is just a giant family. That is honestly what I miss the most. You can take the fame, you can take the photographs, you can take all that nonsense. I just miss being with my family, with my chosen family.
I can respect that.
Well said, sir.
Yeah, definitely agree as well.
Some booze family.
I want my office back from my kid.
Remote learning.
I know those feels, Dan. I know those feels.
It's school back here, and it's just, it's just all like she just totally took over. I mean, we shared a space anyway, but it's full school. And like, I'm just like, I just want my office back.
Dan, this is
It's magic. How did Peat show up on that
I'm already done.
There, just done. Like, it was today. She was like, having a mood, and I was like, you know what? School's out. I was like, Mommy's done. Mommy needs a drink, okay?
I forgot what room I was supposed to be in.
I was going to say, Pete did a magic trick. I saw you.
I'd also like to make a public service announcement. Because
Please.
I, during this stream, just ordered a Artist Club t-shirt.
Ooh,
I finally
legit.
I finally did it, and I was like, "Damn, the man's right here." So yes, I
should have waited. I'm putting a new one out tomorrow.
Oh man, that original design though, I dig it for the.
He did see the OG. He did lose his mind over the OG shirt, which I will have on tomorrow.
The OG shirt. Yeah, I was like, man.
I forgot you sent me
Yes.
one. I could have worn it.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I saw the
you do me dirty,
design.
Jen, all the time.
Exactly.
Oh,
Jen's just hurting feelings here tonight. Jeez.
She just wants to hurt my feelings.
Yo, I got that shirt. I feel good. Well,
All right.
wore the
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's awesome. Now, Annie, I know you miss a lot about shows. Talk to me.
Mine's gonna be a lame version of Tom's answer. I miss hugs.
Okay, that's
Like
fair.
I miss seeing my friends and seeing friends that live across the country, that live, completely elsewhere, and being able to see them and just give them a big hug. I can't do that in COVID. I'm not allowed, and nor do I want to give them anything. So it stinks. But everyone pretty much said everything else. I miss the chosen family. I miss spending I'm gonna complain about it once it happens again, but I miss spending all day in a costume, in a corset, complaining about life, eating a cheeseburger while someone tries to take a picture of me while I'm eating the cheeseburger.
Same.
Every time.
Big mood. Big
Same.
mood.
Giant
Definitely.
move.
We'll get there. Oh,
Definitely same. Dog.
I just realized you meant me. It's kind of like a tie-in of Annie Lee and Tom's answers, but this is actually the first time I've visually seen Annie Lee and Tomcat in I don't know how long. So, but I don't know. I have a giant group of people that I constantly see at every event, if possible. And it doesn't matter if like our plans align or anything like that. We always make the effort to even see each other in passing. And we talked about this, like our groups and stuff. If I knew at Anime NYC and at Katsucon that was the last time I was going to see the Sailor Moon crew, the last time I was going to see Moon Menagerie, the last time I was going to see like my friends, like I would have hugged them longer. I would have taken more selfies with them. So more than anything, I miss my friends. I miss the people I hang out with. I miss the people I room with. I miss the people that will run the 7-Eleven with me in a Kiku at 3 a.m. because I just wanted ginger ale and Pringles. I miss my friends that will get me soju and then we'll go to K-pop like contests and will support me while I'm drunk off of Korean alcohol. Like I miss that. I miss that very much. And I hope if any one of you are watching this, I hope you're all well and I miss you very much. But that's what I miss more than anything.
The group dinners, I think, were the most fun, where you would just like go to the show and then you would finish up and then you would go eat dinner just before the show started. Like it would be like the Thursday or the Wednesday before the show started, and you would just go out to eat. Like that to me is just so much fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah, coffee houses here with
yes.
The group. I mean, that's really how I started. That's what I miss about cons, because that got my start. A group of Chicago guys, Hillary Barta, one of the Hernandez brothers, and some guys, they're like, hey, you want to know more? We're going to the coffee shop afterwards. I'm like, I'm there. We're there till they kicked us out, just wired on coffee talking comics. I'm like, hell yeah, this is what I'm doing, man.
Yep. It's a
rocking.
Friend-wise, it's fucking awesome. Networking-wise, too, to spin it business-wise, it's pretty fantastic, too, because you learn a lot. Even, being a fly on the wall, you learn a lot. And I concur with everybody. That's all the same things that I miss from shows right now, because it's like, Jesus. But
it's been so long.
It's been so long you almost kind of forget. But at the same time, I was one, I think everybody in this room pretty much also, when I realized when they canceled St. Patrick's Day, I was like, okay, this shit's going to be real. I made it a point, I know Jay and I have spoken about this at length. My theory was, okay, well, now it's time to work harder. There's no shows, there's no this, there's no interactions. I have to bust my ass. And frankly, and I'm going to sound a little bit of like a dick right now, but I don't care. Anybody who's not busting their ass right now during the COVID time, when it's over, you're going to be seeing me in the distance, because that's, anybody who's not working is going to be left behind a little bit. You got to play catch up. And I want to know what you guys think about that. Anybody who wants to go first with it, go for it. Don't fall down.
Whoever wants to go first, I'd like to make a comment, but whoever's first, sure.
Could I say something if possible?
Go.
with that? Okay, so I agree and disagree with that. And the reason I say that is because, yes, and I've yelled at my boss for like my day job with this, that being digital is very important to be present digitally right now, because he and our team just don't want to be digital. They just want to be pencil and paper, which is fine. But right now it's really important to stay present. And unfortunately, the only way right now is digitally. So I agree with that in that perspective. And in terms of cosplay and in art, in order for people to see you, they're not going to see your booth, or they're not going to see your table, or they're not going to see your cosplay in person like they normally would. So you have to present yourself through the various social media platforms and pretend that that's them walking past you, unfortunately. So I agree with it in that perspective, because that's the only way they're going to see you. That's the only way you're going to be known. That's the only way you're not going to fall to the wayside. But at the same time, I also, and this is kind of me yelling at myself also, I also don't want that expectation and that weight of you need to be here, now, present, go, work. If you're not hustling, if you're not taking advantage of it, you're not. I don't want that pressure on myself or on anyone either, because I know, and my brother's right there, he knows, like, I have not been doing the best mentally and emotionally during this time. I am a very, 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 very extroverted person. And to be isolated since the 20th of March makes me want to flip tables and kill people. I can't kill a spider. I call him to do that. So don't worry for whoever's the agent. It's fine.
When I'm dead asleep, the worst is when I come home from football, from soccer.
Listen, spiders are scary, but to bring that to a close, to bring that to a close, it's a lot of us cosplayers, when I've talked to a bunch of them, I don't want to speak for all, of course, but the cosplayers I've spoken to, we have actually shared the same feelings, that we wake up tired. We wake up not knowing what day it is. The ability to go to Michael's and Joanne's and wherever we need to go, to Mood in Manhattan, to get what we need is not really there. And even if now that it is a little, it doesn't feel safe, it doesn't feel right. And even when we have the materials, we don't have the mental or emotional spoons to work with those materials in order to proceed. And because of all of that, we can't create the content we should be. We can't make the posts that we should be. We can't do the live streams that we should be. We can't do any of these things to make us present and to make us in the forefront and be digital and be not on the wayside. So I agree and disagree, because yes, we need to be present, otherwise they're going to forget us. But at the same time, this time should also be used to step back. Also, I feel my wallet, my sewing machine are really happy with these past few months. They're stoked right now. My sewing machine is so happy that it's not anime NYC anymore, and it's not sewing fake leather. But
because she was sewing in the hotel room, she was sewing in the car on the way to Katsucon.
I actually, no, Katsucon, I was not punching. I was a good baby angel, but I was sewing 4 hours before I had to go to Masquerade practice at Anime NYC. So
when I tell you that, I swear to God, if she didn't think if she thought she could get it through TSA, she would have taken it with her on the airport.
I believe it.
But yeah, so that's my thought on that. Like, yay and nay, and I'll stop.
Actually, I have something to kind of like piggyback on that a little bit too. And like one of the things I've discovered with myself and like my work process lately has been kind of like being like letting myself be okay with that. There are some days that I'm going to have an off day that just nothing's working out. Like I'm trying to get stuff. It's just not happening. And like kind of just easing on myself a little bit and being like, look, it's okay that nothing is happening today. Take a break. Tomorrow might be a better day where you'll get more done. You'll be more productive. And it helps me be better in the long run by like mentally giving myself those little breaks and not being so hard on myself if I'm like not exactly on like the super schedule that I set for myself, or if like maybe things aren't going to plan for like what I set out for the week to do or something like that. And yeah, like, cause sometimes you do have these days where just like mentally you're just not there. And it's just like nothing that you put down on the paper is what you think it should be. Or like, you know, I'm sure you guys with, you know, the cosplay too, it's like, yes, sometimes it's just not working out for you. And it's kind of like being okay with yourself for like, you know what, let me just take a break. Let me go back to it tomorrow, or let me go back to it later on today, and maybe that'll be okay. And I think like with this time too, like having all this time that we had with COVID just to kind of be with yourself, it's like being like, you know what, I do have a lot of time right now. And if this afternoon or if this page or if this thing isn't that good, you know what, I got that day, I got that later on today that I can just get back into it. And I think that that kind of like helped me out a lot during this time and helped me be productive in the long run by like giving myself those like little breaks here and there.
Yeah. And you absolutely got to get yourself to take those breaks, because I've spent hours at the drawing table not even paying attention at times. It's like, I need to get up, I need to do something different for a little bit. You know,
Jay, I know you had something. I'm sorry, Phil.
Sorry.
My bad, Phil. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. It's all good.
I feel Phil. I feel it.
No, go ahead, Phil. I'll wait.
Oh no, yeah, I was just saying, man. It's been good this, with me. It's been good this year. I've gotten out there more, and most everybody I deal with is out where you guys are out on the East Coast, anyhow. But with the internet, I'm a lot of my comic buddies, artists, the community, man. They're my people. They're what keep me going. And they even got to remind me, take a break, go get something to eat, take a break from stuff, But, you got to do that. Get yourself in a different headspace for a little bit, relax a minute, maybe watch a comedy of some kind. That's my best advice, is to watch something funny for a little bit.
I recommend The Golden Girls.
Right?
But yeah, that's about it from me, man.
I was going to say overrated, but I didn't want to start a fight. I'm kidding. I love The Golden Girls.
That'll get you for that page.
I watched them before both of you did, so I don't want to hear it.
You don't know when I was born,
The
so don't
Golden
even
Girls
try
are
it.
awesome.
I found the dead scroll. Wait, real quick, because I know Jay had it.
I think everyone's kind of misunderstanding what Pete was saying, because this is something me and Pete have talked about before. It's not so much saying, well, I have to be killing myself every day, working every day, I got to do this. It was more along the lines of not getting lazy, because taking one day off quickly turns into taking 2 days off, quickly turns into taking 4 days off, quickly turns into, well, fuck it, I'll do it next week. And then the other thing is, because like I said, me and Pete talked about how I looked at it was, if I'm not going to be able to do shows, I got to be able to push myself out more other ways. So like before this happened,
exactly right.
I was Instagram exclusive. I have Twitter, I have Facebook, never used them. Now I'm using all my social medias. Now I have a YouTube. Now I have the Twitch. Now I have the Streamlabs. I'm streaming live art now. You gotta figure out other ways where, okay, if I'm not gonna be at a show, there's other things I can do that is going to bring an audience to me. It's going to get me out there, even though I might not be selling at shows and making money. When the shows do come back, my following might be bigger.
Yeah,
so it's going to help me out in the long run. It's more along the lines of that. It's more along the lines of me being a digital guy. Like, you know what? All of a sudden, I have all this time in my hand. I'm going to figure out that technique that Boss Logic does. I'm going to figure out how to do it now, because I've been looking at how he does it and looking at his piece and like, shit, I want to be able to do that too. Let me figure that out. Or let me figure out how this person does that. Or if it's a cosplay, well, let me see how I can do that. Let me learn a new technique. Let me learn a new this. Like someone put in the comments, like not getting complacent, because unfortunately, it is what it is. There's a lot of artists out there that I know that have gotten complacent, that have gotten lazy, that aren't putting out work, that aren't pushing themselves out there. And those are going to be the same ones later. They're going to say, well, why is Pete doing this? Or why does Jay have that? Why does Jen do this? Why does Jen have this? Because we didn't get complacent. We didn't get lazy. We found other ways to do things.
You pivoted.
So that was more along what
right?
meant.
And
not
I'm
about killing yourself every day. Because
Yeah.
You
And
go
I think you
think.
misunderstood me because I'm not saying
Yeah.
that either.
No, there's a lot of, and I think I got it real quick before we're going to continue, but just give me 1 second. Jay and Rizuki have it exactly just different.
It's just the same thing on
Yeah,
different
it's the same
sides.
thing,
Yeah,
just
it's the
different.
same thing, different. Look,
Same
I'm all
thing,
about
just different
definitely don't
sides.
get complacent. Definitely you gotta, change the way
Yeah,
the game's
stay
played.
with
But look, if anybody here is gonna stand up, and I openly stand up, I have major depression and anxiety disorders. Here they are. Look, here are the pills. Okay, I've definitely had to take days where I was like, fuck everything.
Yeah,
Dark
everything.
room.
I
Dark room, leave me alone.
honestly, for me, I probably have a mental breakdown at any day now. People
I had
don't
one the other
know.
day.
I mean, I do have high anxiety, but I mean, I rip my fingers off. I yeah,
Same.
I'm a finger ripper.
Same.
But I also take care of my daughter who's special needs, and her not being in school because she goes to a special needs school is very difficult. And I don't normally talk about how bad it is, but she is autistic. She's nonverbal. She's 12, but mentally maybe about 6. So we're getting into puberty, but try explaining puberty to a 6-year-old who doesn't understand, who doesn't talk. Then on top of that, she has diagnosed severe OCD. So if you ever lived with somebody with severe OCD, it's not fun. And she was being the doctor at the time. This was right before COVID. She shows signs of Tourette's, like she gets tic attacks very frequently. So I'm dealing with a very mentally disabled child, on top of trying to losing my money base, my money, and then and also the cons were my kind of not just money, but my way of getting that break.
Your freedom, basically.
Yeah, freedom to do something, because I am a full caregiver on top of everything else. And now I have to be a caregiver. My day I don't get a break. Like, I wake up, take the dogs out, I got to start school, well, make breakfast, start school, and everything has to be because of her OCD and her issues. If I miss a step, if I'm having a bad day, it's done. Yeah, it's a domino effect. So I told the teachers, okay, because, and then here's another thing people don't know. I do summer school too with her because she can't stop. She maybe gets a break like a week or two before at summer. We go back to school, and then she gets another 2 weeks before school officially starts every year. And normally, when she goes to school, she has her therapists and everything. So now I'm doing that on top of it. So I have to be teacher, then I have to be mom, and literally while she's doing some of her assignments, I'm drawing, and then any moment I get, like even now, like I gotta draw, like I have to take that. I don't have that extra time, and people are like, I don't know how you do it. I'm like, honestly, I don't know how I'm alive either. Okay, I don't.
Open spite.
I'm on a really thin thread right now,
I've always been impressed with you, Jen, and with your daughter's situation. I mean, you know how it is with my situation is nowhere near as difficult as yours, but you know what the issues my kids have and stuff like that. And so I feel for you, because I know how I deal with it over here, how bad it is. Yeah. It was your daughter needs much more.
Yeah,
hands-on stuff.
The only good thing about COVID out of all this is normally, so there's a program federally that you can, when your child is certain mental disability, they're never going to survive in the world. So they're going to need homes. They're going to need, when they're adults, and you have to get on a list. And usually to get her on a list for when she's in her 20s or 30s, and basically it's like a disability. It's like disability, but we've had disability before for her, but it goes off my husband's income, which then if you make too much, they stop. But with this program, when she hits 18, she basically, gets her own money, and then she's on the list now for possibly being having a home. My cousin up in New York, because that's originally where I'm from, he's he has Down syndrome, and he is in one of the homes. You know, like it's like a hotel, not hotel. It's like a you know,
Rehabilitation center?
no, it's like an apartment center. But they watch them, so you know,
Like a
burn down the
community.
house.
A
Yeah.
community.
It's basically the same thing, and like people are like, that's kind of weird, you know, like that's the kind of, I'm like, well, that's the kind of future some special needs kids have to have. You know, I'm type 1 diabetic on top of having Hashimoto's and all a bunch of other disorders, you know, and I'm like, I don't know, my life expectancy is probably like 55, 60, you know, like where's she gonna go, you know? So like our like thing was, all right, we'll buy because having money nowadays, like no one has a savings. So we basically put our money into the house so that when we die and it gets sold, she'll have money to live, you know, in her future. So that's one of the reasons why we bought a house so out of the way too, because it was cheaper. But it was a small sacrifice we had to make to get her into a special needs school. So people don't know a lot of those sacrifices that I do. I just post art and, you know, things, and people cosplay my stuff. I'm like, oh, I like your things. But then, you know, that not tagging me, you know, for one thing, it affects.
It could be the difference between it could be the
yeah.
difference between a paycheck and not getting paid at all.
Yeah, and I have a lot of too much responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, like to the point where now I'm like, I mean, I have to eventually send her back to school regardless of what's going on, because she needs her therapist. I'm not her therapist, you know.
I have a personal question. Have you been doing telehealth with a therapist?
Oh yeah, she has.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we're out in this part of the world of Florida, because each county has a school like this, but you have to meet certain criteria and then you're on a waiting list. Well, this county where my parents live, we live in the middle of nowhere. They live in the middle of nowhere. They're like, she's in, you know? So I was like, all right, we're moving there. So we moved out here because of that. Then, like I said, the only good thing about COVID was normally that process takes forever. And because it was right when COVID just hit, March, April, I had to send in, they wanted like, it's like, you know, the bureaucracy of sending in paperwork. And they were like, send in all this paperwork. And I'm like, oh my God, it was like 100 pages. I'm going to have to fax. And I was like, you know what? YOLO. I use that. It's old. I'm going to just, I know. I was like, I'm just going to email the PDF and just wing it. Be like, COVID, you know? And they were like, no problem. And I was like, oh, you know, like something.
Small victories.
Small victory out of this whole fiasco that I didn't have to wait 9 months. She was approved on the waiting list right away. They were just like, I bet you anybody in that office wanted to get out. And they're just like, approved, bye, you know, like. So.
Jen, I think I'm gonna speak for everybody in the room and everybody listening that you're a fucking rock star.
Oh.
Okay, you're an absolute fucking rock star.
I drop dead, you know why.
It's okay. You got plenty of people to pick you back up, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. So
and you know I mean that. So you're okay.
But I do miss everybody. Like, so if I see people at cons, I always feel so awkward at conventions because I cling to people. I'm like, people, you know, because you don't understand. I'm home. It's this all day, and I'm just like, oh my God, people my age. I'm not, you know, I could talk to people, you know, and I mean, I have my husband here. Well, you know, I have my husband here too, but I need a break from him also. Not gonna lie. Pete and Jay have met Sean. He's a piece of work sometimes, you know.
He's brought me snacks and water and washed my table while I peed. He's everything.
Really I don't know. Don't make me choose sides, John.
Yeah, don't make me. He's everything to me right now.
You're not wrong.
He completed me at Awesome Con.
That's a bro right there.
Yeah, no.
Well, no,
to
it was
be
Baltimore.
fair,
It was Baltimore.
He did. He ran around making sure everyone was alive. He was like the water boy, you know.
There was like 10 of us in the
water
group.
Boy.
There was like 10 of us in the group,
Yeah.
and none of us were near each other. So then Jen's table was definitely ground zero because she was super busy because no flutter. I mean, ask Rizuki about the flailing. So he would run around in cosplay, making sure the rest of us were all okay, or if we needed anything, or if anybody needed to go pee or anything. And yes, he completes me.
Freaking hilarious. But I definitely miss the shows, and I understand like why, you know, some people can't. I was gonna say was hustling. I'm still trying to hustle. Like I'm like my ass is hustling.
I think you're hustling more than all of us combined, Jen.
I'm also doing furniture. Like if anyone doesn't know, I refinish and paint furniture. It's kind of a side hobby I do. So my
What
name
can she do?
You need a She's rotating my.
Some
She's
money,
actually right now after the stream. She'll be rotating my car's tires.
Look, if you pay me, I will. You know. So I'm like I'm trying to do as much as I possibly can. We made masks, although I didn't think they were gonna. I was like, oh, I'll just put out some of my art on some masks, and it's just me and Sean. And what people don't know is I don't like to sew because I have anxiety about it, but I will do all the pinning and I make patterns. So we kind of are a team. And it did so well, but I'm like, there's two of us, and I cut out by hand almost 200 masks by hand.
I saw that.
I know. I was like, you should get a Cricut. I'm like, it's like $300 if you want to donate a Cricut to me. Okay, like.
Hey, you know what? If you posted that on your feed, someone will send you something. I promise you.
To be fair, there's been plenty of times where people have told me like, just ask for. I've gotten ask for like sponsorships and stuff, but it's always not something I
endorse or use.
Well, yeah, like some things are really cute and very popular, like especially clothing. But I'm like, I'm not gonna model them. I'm like a mom, and it's like it's like kawaii stuff, and I'm like, this is not kawaii. So I'm like, but it's never.
I'm just saying, if you need someone to model that for you, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
They're like, model this.
I'm sure I know someone in this room that would love to be your model.
But I've never actually used people are like, oh, you must get so many ideas or so many people giving you some money, I guess, or throwing stuff at you, and I'm like, I don't promote myself like that. Like I don't just go out.
No, you work for your money.
Yeah, no, I've never, and I'm so weird. I should people are like, you should. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna.
That's the funny thing here, though, from cosplay to art to statues to paintings to comic books to everything. Phil's a colorist by trade, but he's an artist also. I see, and it's not just because I chose all of you talented people, but it's because I see a lot of you guys all bring a level though, where you are and you all have been killing it, just even before COVID. But you've all been doing stuff, even if you took a little break, or even if you needed a little this, or you've been super busy. Like Jeremy and I talk all the time, and because we have that pancake connection, I see James' stuff, and I don't talk to him, because it's like, wow, he's better than me. I hate it. I can't. I'm not bringing you. Plus, I'm not bringing you on full screen anymore because I looked over your shoulder and I love the moldings on the door on your wall. Like,
right?
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. That's how
living in a perfect house, and we're mom vision,
When you're a homeowner, you notice those things.
This is my buddy's house right now. I'm not home at the moment.
Because when you're a homeowner, you notice those things. Oh, the moldings are really nice back there.
The moldings are amazing.
It's the stupidest shit that you notice. I've seen Jay go from this ratty, crappy Android phone and an Instagram to now he's basically one memory card away.
Well, you gotta attack me before you can compliment me, though.
Hey, you know how I work.
Hit run.
You know how? No. I build them. I am like John Taffer and Gordon Ramsay. I will break you down before I build you up. Okay. And now Jay is a memory card away from having the computer, from having Skynet that will take over the entire world. Like Jay's computer is making breakfast for him tomorrow. It's not even funny.
We need to link up our systems, Jay.
You guys see what my husband is wearing. Hold on, I gotta get him. He walked out, and I'm like, "What the hell are you wearing?"
Just as long as it's covering everything that needs to be covered. All the dad parts.
I don't mind things being uncovered. That's me personally.
I told you next week OnlyFans. I told you.
I have to wait. Why do I have to wait?
I have to prepare. I have two more rounds of cardio, and
Sean walked.
Wait for the razor blades.
And I was like, "You have to stop talking." All right, come here. Just look at this. He's wearing a Nintendo shirt.
That's not Nintendo.
Nintendo. Nintendo hat. And then look at the pants. No, not Nintendo. Nickelodeon fans.
Those are Nickelodeon fans.
That's why he buys first in every game.
Does he have Oxford?
Yeah, where can I get?
That's why he always buys first.
He's just so. I was like, That's the
What-
screenshot.
What's the footwear? Wait, what's the footwear?
Oh, he's playing that Phantasm game or something where you hunt ghosts and you.
Are you
get
using a
killed.
PlayStation?
Yeah, my friend was actually just talking about that.
Yeah, he's playing that now. He's like, I got killed by a little girl.
Damn. Oh yeah.
Oh, that sounds like fun. I'll have to
Unbelievable.
try it with you guys.
Absolutely.
Good times.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to get going. So I just wanted to say that this was really awesome. And I know obviously some of you that I know, some of you I don't know. So I wanted to just say this was just really cool to be able to have cosplayers and artists like interact and discuss like their sides of things. Because even though we're on different sides of it, it's still really cool because we get each other, even though it's different fields, if you will. And sometimes we cross over, but it's the same thing at the end of the day, just done differently.
We're all
this is
part of the
very
same.
cool.
We're all connected to the same community, and that's just how it works.
Yeah.
So before you run away, because I know the dog has to get walked, tell everybody where they can find you on the webs, and because I know where to find you.
Basically, if you look up Rizuki and it's someone with pink hair and glasses, it's me. So on Instagram, it's under Rizuki. Facebook, it's Rizuki Cosplay. Instagram, it's Rizuki Ann. TikTok, it's Rizuki Ann. And my website is rizuki.net. So
I got you.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah.
She's everywhere.
Potato Chan.
I'm everywhere. Potato
Oh.
Chan. On Zoom,
That's
I
it.
am Potato Chan. So
That's
she
still
I need
hasn't
to
fixed it.
figure out how to change it. I don't know how to change it. So
Yeah.
so yeah. But thank you very much for having me and for the discussion with everyone. This was fantastic.
It was great
Chad,
having you.
what's up?
Thank you.
Love you a long time, baby.
Thank you, Mother.
If you go to Quick Check, please come in here and tell me so I can get something.
No. Okay. Well.
You realize you sleep, I don't. You remember that, right?
I don't
leaving,
sleep.
but
I've had
she's working in
insomnia
the back.
for 4 days.
Hey, welcome to the
I
club.
can't wait to sleep tonight.
I
don't
haven't
think
slept
either.
in days. When I sleep, it's for an hour, and I dream about food, and then I wake up, and then that's it. So
Okay, okay, fine. I'll cut off the Wi-Fi.
that is rude and unkind. I'm watching free. Anyway.
I was thinking, Pete, have your sister friend me on my actual Facebook.
Yep.
Like
I
not,
shall. I
not like.
Oh no, she'll come in here and do it right now while I'm on the phone. So yeah,
Yeah.
you'll
She'll be
see
like,
her on my screen in a minute.
Find her
doing it.
now. No.
Yeah, you'll see. You'll see it.
I will.
She really will, though.
Bye, all.
She really, 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 really will. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. Okay, now that she's gone. No, anyway, sorry.
I was waiting. Someone was going to make that comment. I'm glad it was you.
It has to be me.
So
By-
what
by-
we call
for
it,
the for the legal reasons, it has to be me. For legal reasons, it has to be.
National security, Pete. I understand.
Yeah, no, it's one of the. It's one of those things. It's one of those things. Now we talked about cons and stuff. There's been a lot of video game talk. I know, Tom, you're not. You see, I told you.
A magic trick
Told
again.
you.
I'm astounded.
It's a magic trick.
I'm amazed.
Hold on, because now I have to. See, you're gonna wait. Hold on, I'm just gonna give it to you. Then see, I'm literally. I don't think you can see it too well. I'm literally going onto Jen's Facebook right now, so you can find it. And that's. Go ahead, show them what you're doing. She's literally doing. I told you she was gonna do it.
I'm
right
under my my husband's last name. It's so the funny thing was I drew that hilarious Magikarp design, and I signed it J Carp because that's my actual last name is Carp. And,
Good dog. Good dog.
And I was funny
Oh,
because
good-
this is
good
the
dog,
only
good dog,
time I will
good dog.
ever sign it Carp because it's just
Stop knocking shit over.
Well, it worked.
I married
It
a
worked.
fish.
Jen, I have to say, I saw that
Magikarp is
design
my
and I
number
was
one.
like, I need to do it. I need to do it.
Magikarp.
So it's on my
That
list.
Magikarp, man, that was
He's my number one.
It's so good.
it was just a joke drawing. Those are always the ones that always get me like
Those always get the most
Yeah.
followings.
my chicken
always
because
get the
everyone
most
was
play.
bugging me because they were like draw a design from Zelda games and everything like that. Draw Zelda, draw Link, and I was like, you know what? I'll give you the best fan art from Zelda, and I drew the cuckoo.
The cuckoo.
That's
Yeah.
actually a perfect
But
question.
ready for murderous chicken. But now the chicken kind of became my own thing. So I kind of put him on everything. Like last year I had him versus Godzilla. This year I had him as sus chicken. He's become he's become like now like a joke character of mine that I've been sticking in everything. So he's not really so like because I don't usually put fan art like on anything, but this year I did do the mask with it had to be done. It had to be the chicken versus Godzilla. It was so 2020. I was like, so
now that we're playing Hollywood squares like tic tac toe, I actually you bring up a really good idea for a question as we're hit the 10:35 mark. No, it's good. It's good. It goes.
I
for
get to play Paul Lynn.
Yes, exactly. It goes for cosplayers and artists.
Oh, good.
And we're going to start with Jane with his nice moldings. The question is basically simple. You guys will get a chance to think about this because I'm going to go down. It's going to be great. Is there? Do you constantly give? Oh, you should draw this, or you should draw this. Do you like what characters do you get that people say because they see your style, and for you guys they see your cosplay? Oh, you should do this, or you should do that. Or what do you hear them and or what do you hear the most of?
That's an interesting one.
I give credit. I'm going to give partial credit to Jen for giving me the idea.
So you know what? Actually, one thing that I've been getting a lot of lately is, I guess because they see how my style is like kind of like a combination of like realistic and cartoony in a sense. So a lot of people want me to like draw them in a like comic booky type of style that I would do. So like, it's funny. That's like the thing I feel like I've been getting the most lately is that it's like, I would really love to see me drawn in your style. Can you try that out for it? Like, can you do me as like this game character? Can you do me as like a superhero? Can you do me as like, I don't know, whoever else from like this show? So like, that's what I feel like I've been getting the most lately. I think just like that type of thing, which is kind of interesting. I always feel.
All right,
and,
that
like,
works. Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like also it's a little like I'm like, oh man, it's a little bit more pressure trying to like draw somebody. But
yes, it is. Yeah, no,
yeah,
it is.
But like I definitely get that. Otherwise, one thing I did get a lot of is when I did a couple of shows ago the Rogue drawing from it was from Phil's convention, the Suffolk Con. I made a print that he used on one of the flyers, and since then I get Rogue a lot. Actually,
that's cool. Oh, that's cool. That's notoriety. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, like that 90s X-Men Rogue.
Now, Jeremy, I remember the pancakes where I met you. Bohemian Rhapsody was a thing, and you had that fucking amazing Freddie Mercury painting. What do you get asked? Oh, could you paint this, or could you do this, or could you make this? What do you get hit with the most?
I get hit with practically any like musical icon, and the interesting part was that was a collab with 3 people.
Oh wow!
And I always tell them we're open to doing any person you want. It doesn't matter if it's like Carrie King from Slayer, if it's Bohemian Rhapsody, or if it's Motley Crue. We can get it done. But yeah, everyone always asks me about different iconic musical figures. Rocket Man happens, so they're like, hey, how about Elton John? So no one ever really fully pulled the trigger on it, but they're like, damn, that'd be really cool. I'm like, well, yeah, it'd be dope, but for it to be a collab, it's like you want to make sure someone wants it before you make it. Rocket Man was great, Bohemian Rhapsody was great, Dirt was great. So whoever wants whatever musical icon it is, I mean, it can
wait. There's a hand up.
Motley Crue, please. Thank you.
Question in the class.
Yeah, the Motley Crue one. There you go. Motley Crue is one of my favorite bands anyway, so I was really just stoked. I know it's a very interesting opinion, but I like it more than Bohemian Rhapsody because it shows how Hollywood really was. It's not,
yep.
It was.
I agree with you there totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not as glamorized.
Exactly. Like Bohemian Rhapsody was amazing. It's just they took the timeline and took it back to Live Aid, and Motley Crue was just straightforward. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff they could have put in it too, but TV, glam, and Hollywood wouldn't allow it. So I'd have to say, though, I enjoy the Dirt a lot more. As a hard rocker myself, I was like, that was totally how it really should be. But anyone that wants anything, any theme, we're down for it. But
Half paint will make it, huh?
Yeah.
That's what I like, bro. That's what I love about you.
Have paint, will art. Have paint, will art.
Shadow Rabbit, I know I've seen you make fucking everything, but what do you get the most?
Yeah, brother. I mean, the more I think about it, I keep getting other artists, people who want prototypes from their comics and cosplay, everything like that. That's what I've been doing a lot of now is helping out with people's Kickstarters. I like it when someone comes up with something that's, I love making superheroes, everything, but I like it when someone comes up with something new and I get to help, breathe it into life with them, especially if there's pieces they're not sure of, it's just helping make that dream into a physical reality. And like, I really get to enjoy that,
I dig it because you have that 3-dimensional thing going, and it's like you're actually like when you showed up. Everybody knows my partner Brendan. When you showed up, you made Brendan. You sculpted my business partner, and that was really cool.
I think he was shocked with that too. I was like, oh man, I know you got all the tattoos. Can you send me some pictures of those? I guess he didn't realize I was like, do them up like that.
It was fantastic, bro. It was absolutely fantastic.
Out of curiosity, Louis,
Yes,
I remember last time we were talking on the last CRoM, you're talking about maybe doing a rock and roll series of ones. Have you gotten anything anywhere going on that yet?
Yeah, if you'd like, I haven't started yet. I've got a list of commissions and everything I'm working on. But man, I'd be totally into doing that.
Cool.
Jay, we're gonna roll up to you. What do people ask you for the most?
In terms of the characters, I did them recently. Was Dr. Doom and Miles Morales.
Yep.
Miles Morales, I held off for so long because Tom Holland's your boy. Reasons, I hate Miles Morales.
Because Tom Holland is your boy. That's why.
No, because they killed my boy Petey Parkins for him. It made no sense to me at the time. That was my Ultimate Spider-Man was my favorite comic, and I felt when they did it, it was the reasons weren't right. So ever since then, I've had a personal grudge. I'm gonna admit it. I've had a grudge, and people would ask me, "Can you do Miles?" I said, "Fuck no." But then I said, "You know what? But I like making money though, so I'm gonna do Miles." So I did a Miles Morales piece, which I actually ended up liking a lot, and then I did the Dr. Doom, which I get requested. Dr. Doom was constantly being requested, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it." I just never did, and I said, "You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna do it." So it would be those two.
Jen.
Oh God.
Top two, Jen.
Character. Okay, so let's start. Every Sailor Moon character.
Okay, fair.
Every Sailor Moon.
Fair. I would expect that.
Like not
Then
just
you just say, "Is there an anime?" Then that.
Okay,
Yeah.
every anime that's popular for the season. So right now it's that. What's the one with the bitey thing? The girl. I can't think.
Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer.
Nezuko.
Yeah, I'm so old. I'm like, I don't know what that is. I'm still watching Thundercats.
I'm consistently drawing stuff from Demon Slayer.
Yeah, like always, like Demon Slayer, of course. Like any anime that's popular right now, everybody like, you should draw this in your character, or the worst. Okay, now I'm gonna sound a little. I don't normally get upset with people or anything like that, but I want to say one thing, and please don't do it to any artist, is when somebody puts out literally 12 characters, don't be like, where's this character? Yeah.
Nope.
That's a, don't do that. Don't, you could see my face. like I literally busted my ass for 6 months or, whatever, and you're like, and then of course you guys just heard about my life on top of that, so it's like,
Don't be a
sorry.
Yeah, that's
like
you don't.
It's so ungrateful. It really is. I mean,
that's
I know
when you throw a chair at somebody.
Yeah, I do. I usually like vent to my friends, but I'm finally gonna say something in the real world right now because it's 2020, and before
exactly.
I die, I know. I mean, I understand they're excited. People get excited. They want to see more stuff, and I don't want. I've kind of said this before, and then people kind of gaslight you to feeling guilty about saying something about it, and I've decided no, I shouldn't feel guilty for telling people I just you're being ungrateful, you know, like, and it's,
where's this character?
Yeah, where's this character? Like, instead of saying, "Oh my God, that's great," it's, "Where can you do this one? Where's this one?" And it's like, wow, okay, you know. And I get that a lot. I want to say a lot, you know, and it almost brings your like enthusiasm down. But now, I mean, I've learned to ignore it. But don't get me wrong, it's still like, you know, especially it's like I have, you know, like tendon problems. I just drew a shit ton and broke down the cosplays front and back. And then you know, so I think yeah, Sailor Moon characters are the number one. I do have a joke though that I tell people I'm never drawing them again, and it seems like 2 years later I draw them again.
That's,
so,
that's me and Transformers.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say it now. I'm never drawing them again, but in like 2 or 3 years, I'll be back, you know, in something different.
I'll see you at Katsucon next year, and then drawing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Phil, I'm skipping over you. I'm skipping over you. We're talking all weekend.
You know,
we're talking to each other all weekend, damn it.
I know what he looks like.
No one knows what Phil looks like. Tom, do people say, "Oh, you should cosplay this," or "You should cosplay that," or "Why don't you cosplay?"
Every day of my life, I get something new. I've been told I should cosplay as literally every evil bitch in movies.
Well,
from Kathleen. I mean, it's on brand for me. It's completely and totally on brand for me. Like Kathleen Turner and Serial Mom, Jessica Rabbit, Mary Poppins. I've gotten. B. Arthur mashups are very big lately. People want me to do like Cardi B, where it's Cardi, it's B. Arthur's face with Cardi B's body. I've definitely gotten that one. It's hysterical. It's absolutely hysterical, and I feel it's because I'm just, I guess, that good at portraying B. Arthur that people are like, no, you need to do all of these mashups. Like, again, I've gotten B. Poppins, I've gotten Cardi B, I've gotten oh god, Teenage Mutant Ninja Beetles or Beatles. Just so many different things, and I'm like, are y'all funding these B mashups so much? Like, is that what's happening? I'm trying to think. So yeah, it's just pretty much evil bitches and B. Arthur.
All right, well, fair. I think they're trying to typecast him.
I guess so. I really guess so. That was why I cosplayed as Batman once, just to break up the casting a little bit.
Just to stir the pot just a little bit.
Yeah, just to stir the pot.
But they're not. But the Cardi B one.
Yeah, that would. Again,
Yeah,
it's the same.
That one should be like. No, don't get me wrong. Like, I have people suggest things, and I'm like, yes, you know, like I'm gonna do that. I've dropped everything and done something.
You just know it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. That Cardi B one.
Yeah, it's definitely on my list. I have the wigs. All of my wigs are literally hiding on a shelf.
He has a garage full of them.
I just need someone to make me that, or I'll make it myself. That like red leather unitard. And if you build it, they will come.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That just gives all new meaning to
it, they will come. That's a very
that just gives all new meaning to the WAP song.
That's
I want to see this.
Yes, I said it. I said it.
Okay, how about
Bacardi? They will come.
And now, before I jump to Andy and ask the same question, Greg has a question, and I think we answered it already. So the question is: are you currently comfortable doing shows? When will you start doing shows again? I think we all kind of agreed that when it's safe.
Yeah.
Like if somebody told me there was a show tomorrow. Sorry, no. I've said no to a lot of outside shows and a lot of, I know people have said no to photo shoots and stuff like that because right now, no. Probably not even till after maybe around the holidays. And
my first show is not until May.
Right now we have the December 6th show on the books, and then the next show would be mine in February, and I'm even talking to people like that may not happen. So
I'm pretty sure Katsucon's canceled.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Katsucon's canceled.
I was like,
very sure.
I think MagFest jumped it a little bit because they had to get people in, and it's tough for the gaming companies and stuff. But Katsucon is like right there, which is a shame.
My friends are so gun ho, and I did all these beautiful designs for them. Again, it's the same girls who did the fairies. Most of them.
I saw them. I took pictures of them.
I know they were so good, and I I'm worried. I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna happen. But I mean, I still got to draw, so we're
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, it's when we all
Build
feel
up
safe.
inventory. Build up inventory.
We're just going to build inventory. Exactly. We're going to build inventory until we feel safe. Now, I
Did
know.
they have some shows in New Jersey recently?
There's
talking about some show in Jersey.
There's a horror fest in Jersey in the parking lot of the Showboat Casino. Yeah, that's.
We don't talk about the Showboat.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay.
There's some bad memories, and I really want to get to Annie's answer of what people ask her. You know.
Yeah. So speaking of typecast, any sexy, revealing, scantily clad lady? That's me.
Me too.
Me too.
But weirdly enough, when WAP became a big song, everyone sent me the version where it's like the Waluigi version, and then go, you have to do this. You were a dance major, you have to do it. And still haven't done it yet. But yeah, otherwise, the biggest requests from my current lineup that I get are Poison Ivy is a huge one. And then also, totally blanking on my mind right now, but I'll remember in a moment. Yeah, Poison Ivy, Catwoman, those are kind of like the big ones I get asked to do.
Are you looking to revisit your Poison Ivy?
So I'm actually making a Christmas version. Another cosplayer had reached out to me about doing a Harley Quinn Poison Ivy. I said, oh my god, I could do Poinsettia Ivy. And so that's what I'm making during my quarantine. I'm really excited about it because I haven't really made anything in a long time. I've ordered a lot of fabric and I've ordered a lot of patterns, and then they sit in a pile that's gotten bigger and bigger until I just looked at it and go, no.
That's my daughter who said that. That is my daughter who said that.
Oh, I remembered the other one, Lara Croft. Big one that I get asked to do a lot.
That was Tropica. You did a really good Lara Croft, and at an indie art show a couple years ago, you did a really good Lara Croft. Your Lara Croft is very good.
Thank you.
Annie puts a lot of time and energy into her builds, and there's a lot of knowledge of the characters, which I appreciate. And I do see the family resemblance with what Tom does.
Like mother, like daughter.
Is Annie Lee Cosplay on Instagram? I'm sorry if I'm looking down.
She's on Instagram.
Okay, I'm actually like.
In fact, wait, Jen.
Everybody who
I will help you. Hold on.
Really quick. I think I followed everybody here.
Yeah, I'm following everyone as soon as this is over. I just didn't want to pull out my phone.
There's James right there.
I'm terrible. Yeah, I followed James. I followed
Jen. There's you.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
That's Shadow Rabbit right there.
I got a long name, Shadow Rabbit. Jesus.
I will make sure I get everybody that I'm not following now as well.
A rose by any other name.
Okay, I'm gonna do my.
That's Rizuki, but she's already stalking you, Jen. So don't worry about that.
I'm stalking her back, so it's fine.
There's Annie Lee.
Oh, Annie.
I'm easy. I have the same name everywhere.
He's this fucking Tomcat person.
That's right. It's me. I'm that person.
So
I'm the person that everyone hates.
And where how did I lost Jeremy?
Oh, you're such a cute. I love your Starfire.
Thank you.
I was just saying, I just popped on and saw that too, and I followed it. I was like, damn, Starfire.
Now we're gonna tell a story about her Starfire cosplay, and how much I miss Katsukan and stuff like that.
Yeah, your designs are sick.
She had asked me. I was taking pictures all weekend. It was the first con I got to go to as a fan in years. Katsukan last year. It's a big, gigantic Katsukan, National Harbor, Gaylord Hotel and Resort. It's amazing. So she has her amazing Starfire costume, and she's like, "Hey, there's a DC shoot. Would you mind taking pictures of me too?" Because I was already taking pictures of her at a panel she was at. I was like, "Sure, no problem. I got nothing else to do till later." Perfect. So I go. I'm taking pictures. We're having a great time. I'm getting her. I'm getting other people posing. Blah blah blah. And I can only call her the Karen photographer.
The Karen photographer.
The Karen photographer.
Comes up to me and says, "You're in my way." I look at her like, I'm just taking pictures. I'm taking pictures of her. I'm just standing. Now, I'm big, so I'm used to being in the way all the time. But then
I'm shocked.
Yeah, and then she goes, "You're standing in my way again. I can't get my light." And I'm like,
this is the game where there's a lot of light.
Do you know where you are? Are you new?
So at that point, I did not want to make a scene because I was by far the largest, longest bearded guy there, and it's DC, so I probably would have been shot. So but I turned around and there were 2 or 3 other photographers like looking at her like, yo, Mans is just taking pictures. Like, what are you doing? Anyway, long story short, I end up getting angry and walking away to the other side. And 2 other photographers come up to me. Is like, Starfire, right? Did she pay you? I was like, no, she's my friend. I was just taking pictures so she could have some for her library. They go, that lady's crazy. Don't worry about it. You good, bro. You good. Did you get good shot? I got good shot. But it was all because of Annie Lee and taking pictures of her all weekend. And then that weekend also, I did not know that I was supposedly the official Sailor Moon photographer because Rizuki suckered me into that, and I'm like,
you didn't know that you were the official. Come
no, I didn't until I said, "Oh, you're the official photographer. Come," and I'm like, but here's the problem: I didn't feel official because I didn't have my light guy with me.
You always abandoning me.
You wouldn't come. You wouldn't come.
You always leave me at home.
You wouldn't come.
I haven't been to Katsucon in 5 years.
Katsucon will happen again sooner or later, and cons will happen again. But I'm looking at the time. It's 11 o'clock, and people want to eat, people want to pee, and people want to do things. So I'm going to wrap this up a little bit, and we're going to say our goodbyes, but we're going to do it nice and slow so everybody gets a chance, okay? And we're going to start with James. James, I'm going to give you the full screen. Tell everybody who you are again. Tell everybody where they can find you.
All right, so
tell us where you got those moldings.
Like I said before, this is actually my buddy's house right now, so I'm not home. I can't speak for that. But you can find me Instagram and Twitter, JV Avila Art. My website is javilaart.com, and also I do all my commissions, sell my books, prints, and stuff like that on my Etsy shop, James Avila Artwork. So you can check all those. I have links on my website and stuff like that for my shops and everything. I'm going to be having my books out soon, and Horrendous #2 is going to be out. That's the most recent one. It's going to be out in a couple of weeks. So I'll be posting on my Instagram when that's available. A lot of other art. It's an anthology, so there's a lot of other artists on there too.
Awesome. Very cool. Thank you, James.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Hang out till we're all gone. Though. We'll do the whole big group goodbye. We're going to Jeremy though. What's up, brother? First off, thank you, brother, for being here. I really appreciate it. You and I later are definitely going to chat. I have some show ideas, and I think you and I are both going to message Tom and try to do a whole thing. It's just that he's in Thailand, so that's going to be a little weird.
We could definitely do it.
But we're going to do something. No, we're going to have we're going to do a stream, a Pancakes and Booze reunion stream or something along those lines. But before we do all that shit, awesome. Yeah, it really would be. Talk to me. Tell me where people can find you and all that good stuff.
Probably the most direct way would be at JP Abstract Art on Instagram. My last name is pretty complicated, but Jeremy Preshow is on Facebook. I know in the group you guys could definitely see me, but that's where you can find me. Other than that, jpabstractart.com is a really quick link to everything. And other than that, we're really just making the best out of COVID. I miss physical shows, but I've been doing really anything digital, from merchandise to skateboarding, crazy features, shows from Germany, France, you name it. So it's definitely been quite a time. So we're just really making the best out of it. I do miss physical shows, and that Pancakes and Booze idea sounds.
We're gonna have a talk. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have a talk. Thank you, brother. We're gonna stay in. Don't go nowhere, but we're gonna stay in touch. But we're gonna slide over to the Shadow Rabbit, Mr. Winky Face. Where can they find you, brother? And where can they get your wonderful toys?
You can get me on Instagram, shadowrabbit_clay_guy. Just DM me, send me a message, anything, man. Love sculpting, love making stuff, love making people's dreams come true.
I do have 2 guys that have Kickstarters that need to talk to you.
And before we go, love you all. Stay tough, mentally, physically. We'll get through this.
It'll happen. See, and if there's one person I believe that says that, it's you. So it's all gravy. Jen, where can everybody find you, darling?
NoFlutter.com has all my social media links. I'm NoFlutter everywhere. So, but yeah, that'll take you to my store. It'll take you on the side. I have all my social medias, Facebook, Instagram, but it's under NoFlutter, everywhere.
There you go.
But yeah, you can check it out there. And sorry for making a ton of faces tonight. My sinuses were killing me, so I look like I'm like giving everyone dirty
I was
looks
making
at certain
some serious
points.
faces, so it's all good.
Tis the season, and it made it interesting. It let us know that you were alive, so it's good.
Yeah,
Exactly. You got emotion. It's all good.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm just giving everyone like a stink eye. I'm like, oh god,
No,
sorry.
you're good. Miss Annie Lee.
Hey, you can find me at Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch. If it's a social media, I have it under Annie Lee Cosplay. All one word, all spelled the same.
There she
I'm a
is.
simple bean.
And there she is.
I got a phone.
We had a bean, we got a potato, and now we have the mom of all, the queen of all moms.
The mother of all cosplayers. That Tomcat everywhere. Just everywhere. If you look at Tomcat, you'll find me. Just don't. The bakery comes up a lot. Also, the bakery in Queens comes up.
It's because of those buns.
It's because of my buns. Oh, the legendary. The legendary.
I wasn't gonna let that go. I wasn't gonna let that go.
No, please don't ever. But yeah, that Tomcat all over the place, all over the universe, down there. Social media. That's me.
Bringing this fool back in. Jay, where can everybody find you, brother?
If you just Google either Jay Peralta or Artemesa Art, in some form, all my stuff is there. And then Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook is just at Artemesa.
There you
go buy a shirt.
Absolutely. Now I will do a quick shameless. I will do a quick shameless plug. First off, she left, but that's Rizuki. Rizuki on Instagram, Rizuki everywhere. You can easily find her, and she is my sister, so I got to give the shameless plug.
I was I think I follow her too.
Yes, you do.
I have to. It's my job. I did it, so I'm okay. So now I can shameless plug myself. It's usually this. It's Pete 117 everywhere, 11717 everywhere. But I would love it for anybody, any of y'all. If you got the screen is being stupid. If any of y'all got the Twitch. Get on the Twitch and give me a follow. I would really appreciate that. I would really love that. The next thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to thank everyone who's been in our comments. You guys, this is why we do this stuff, guys. We love you guys. We love interacting with you guys. We love talking to you guys. And this is just a pre-show. The weekend starts tomorrow at noon Eastern. CromCon is on. We have a fucking packed weekend for you guys. It's going to be all sorts of stuff, all sorts of goodies. A guest appearance by Pops in a tuxedo. I got a lot of surprises. We got a lot of funny things. I know some of these guys are coming back. We got all sorts of things. Phil, you're coming back too, right? I hope. Perfect. No. So tonight I'm going to go to the garage and get a bucket so I can just pee here then, so I don't have to leave. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for gracing us with your time. I know your time is precious. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Love you guys to death. You all inspire the shit out of me and make me, want to do more things. I know and Tom, you've given me the strength. Next week, OnlyFans. It's going to be great.
Good. I love the exclusive.
Damn right. There you go.
Now.
Yeah.
Bro, look, there's three cats. There's three cats, and the dog just had surgery. It's got
sell them feet pics. Sell them feet pics.
I just have topless Bulma on there, and
there you go. That's the ticket.
Yeah, not of me. God no.
Yo, people you gotta watch with that pause. People were about to start typing. Okay.
No. It's actually mine is free to see as long as you can actually get on. There's no
Yeah, mine won't be.
Yeah.
I want to make
mine won't. I have to wax. Mine won't be.
Certain social medias don't they frown upon those type of things and you get shadow banned. So I use that for that type of art. So it's not updated unless I do something. But I have a couple things on there.
Anyway, thank you all so much. I love you guys to death. I'll see everybody back tomorrow at noon Eastern, right back here on Twitch, in the Comic Related Madness, on Facebook. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great night. We'll see you guys later.
Peace, love, and chicken grease.
See you later, guys.
Rock and roll.
Bye.